They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Oh, you start really with right there. That's the low-hanging fruit. That's like the one line. Oh, if there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Well, I should replace it with the actual.
Actually, if you were,
you know what we should just do? We should just dub over the movies. We should just watch the movies and put our own dialogue on it.
We just say as many lines as we can remember for each movie, and not in any particular order, or
and
like
that's the entire podcast.
That's the entire podcast. Or are we doing zombie puns this time?
There will be zombie puns.
Okay.
All right. So, hey, it's another podcast thing that we're doing with horror movies. What are we doing today?
Well, our good friend, he wasn't our good friend.
Yes, he was.
We met him once. Yeah, that makes us good friends. George Romero passed away, unfortunately. Very sad.
Very poetic, though.
And
listening to his favorite soundtrack or whatever it was.
The music from his favorite movie, which I don't remember what it was. Some Friend I Am.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we figured now is as good a time as any we were eventually going to do the movie marathon podcast for all the George Romero movies. Just know we weren't going to do that at some point or another, but now it feels like a right time to do it. And it's been a while since I had watched any of those movies, and I'm sure happy. It's good food for the soul to go back and watch a lot of that stuff. I hadn't seen that stuff in a long time.
That and like Dawn of the Dead is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Dawn of the Dead is definitely one of the pillars of my identity. It's always swirling like your number one. Like I guess I just kind of settled on Jaws, but your top five are always like the same kind of movies, all just kind of in the same soup. And Dawn of the Dead's always going to be one of them. It's never going to go away.
Yeah. So
what movies are we doing? Set them up.
Well, I want to call this the Living Dead series, but technically
they don't all have Living Dead. He ruined it.
What?
They didn't all have Living Dead in the title.
Only the first one does. The other ones are just Of the Dead.
Right.
So we're doing. How do I name this video? Right? Is it Of the Dead series, or we're doing like Romero zombie film?
I've been saying the Romero zombie movies. Yeah.
But we are also going to cover the remakes.
Right. Probably very briefly.
Yeah. So we'll be covering 9 movies.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead remake, Dawn of the Dead remake, Day of the Dead remake,
skipped Land.
And Land of the Dead.
You didn't do it in fucking order. Do it again.
Who said I had to do it in order?
Do it again. Do it right.
All right. Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead.
There we go.
Night of the Living Dead remake, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead remake, Day of the Dead remake.
You got it.
And then I guess supposedly there's another Day of the Dead
which we actually got a question about. So
and I didn't know anything about it until you mentioned it.
I only looked at it a little bit. So I don't know how well we're going to be
There
able
is
to
a
answer
Day
that
of the
question.
Dead 2 Contagium. Contagium, Gium. We are not going to cover that because I think I watched that years ago, and it doesn't count. It's not even like a...
Yeah, nobody said anything about the sequels to remakes.
Well, not even that, but it's like, it's ketchup, blood. Like, oh, you're a zombie. We put tomato soup on you.
When you say ketchup, I thought maybe like, you mean I had to watch too much stuff to watch the movie?
No, it's like beyond low budget garbage. It's like the Day of the Dead remake is actually a movie. It might not be a good one or a high budget, but it's a movie. Day of the Dead 2 Contagium is like...
Yeah. All right, well...
This is Sci-Fi Channel, not even that, I don't think.
Somebody's sad, but probably not very many people.
Anyways, so let's just get into it. We've been talking about way too much other shit for the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
Plus, so it's already getting late, so we have to go.
Normally 9 movies would equal... I don't even know what the formula is. Yeah, but we're going to try to keep this tight, nice and tight.
And I can't find zombie puns on the internet. All I find is zombie jokes, so I'm not happy.
You're only as good as the puns you come up with on your own, not the ones you look up on the internet.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just I'd like to have some ammo.
You need to rise to the occasion.
Good one. But they don't put the pun... I have to figure out where it goes, right? So I don't know. I'm falling apart over here.
Okay.
Let's get to it. Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead, 1968. And this is not the first George Romero movie I saw, I don't think. Probably would have seen the same thing with you. We probably saw Dawn of the Dead first.
Yeah. And I'm going to admit, I didn't watch it.
You've seen it before.
I've seen it multiple times.
And you watched the remake, which is almost like beat for beat in some ways.
We actually started this channel off 2 years ago. One of the first things we did was watch Night of the Living Dead doing our Horror Siege video.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked at length about it way back then.
Plug. Go watch this poor video that I'm very proud of that nobody ever watches called the Horror Siege, us breaking down what we think is a genre. I think it's pretty cool.
But we also did the podcast, like episode 1.
That's right.
Or episode 0, Welcome to the Siege.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot.
Should we even talk about it? Yes, we should.
Yeah, we got to still talk about it.
Okay, you talk about it.
Okay, Night of the Living Dead is a 1968 horror film they made on a $114,000 budget.
Yes.
Is one of the much like Kevin Smith's Clerks.
Oh, Clerks. Sorry. Yeah,
It is one of the consummate's not the right word. It's one of like the ultimate like indie films that people watch and go, ooh, I can do that. Like, I can do that too. $114,000, even in 1968 money, was not very much, like compared to the other movies that were being made at the time. It is very much a low budget film.
And Romero came from shooting like commercials.
Yeah, he was on a commercial company. He did all kinds of stuff. You can see like footage of him doing like submarines and washing machines and stuff to like advertise detergent and things like that.
Pittsburgh native, all the shit's shot in and around Pittsburgh, using Pittsburgh actors and
not actors.
And not actors.
Right, the guys that invested in the movie or were doing sound design were also acting as zombies or acting as other characters in the film.
Kind of every teenager's dream who wants to be like a film student to be able to shoot like in your area using people you know and having to be like a homegrown production. That's where Romero comes from.
This is pretty much the birth of the American zombie. As we talk about at length in those other videos that we mentioned. Before this, you have things like White Zombie. You have things like the Haitian or Voodoo Zombie. Like
not White Zombie, the band.
Like I Walk with a Zombie.
No, not Rob Zombies.
Yeah, not Rob Zombies. But George Romero didn't have that in his mind when he was making the film, but it just kind of came out. And that's actually, when you talk about Night of the Living Dead, the kind of things that were not intentional but came out of it anyway are kind of the most, like the biggest talking points. So I won't beleaguer the point about
social commentary and racism.
Absolutely, because it's not. George Romero has said on multiple occasions that they just wrote a script and they didn't like intentionally. It was just like, oh, he was the best actor that we knew. Dwayne Jones was the best actor that we knew. So it just turned out that way. And then, but that's kind of in its way very progressive because we're just gonna say he's just a black man, Yeah. And it's not. We're gonna be colorblind to this. But as a result, it's funny because like Night of the Living Dead has this reputation of being very transgressive and like midnight movies and like all this kind of stuff like taboo. And back then, certainly like the gore was a big deal for 1968. You had a guy who was a butcher who actually was bringing out pig intestines and stuff like that. And that was pretty crazy for like a movie back then.
Which seems so mellow.
Now you go back and fucking that documentary, The Birth of the Living Dead. Right. This is motherfucking guy like in the Bronx who's like got a bunch of like third graders, and then maybe they're not that young, but they're definitely at least in middle school or probably younger.
They were like elementary school.
Yeah, and he's showing them Night of the Living Dead and talking to them. I don't think they're eating intestines and stuff, So but what is still feels like, or at least you can imagine how transgressive this would have been in 1968. A black man, not just a black main character, but a black main character that's punching white women and shooting white men. And then at the end, again, there's a lot of that, like not intentional, just kind of there, but very like
it reverberates,
charged imagery.
You'd say like, he just took the strongest bite out of that role.
Right. There you go. Hey, you're keeping up now. So anyway, Dwayne Jones.
Yeah, I'm gonna shamble on. Don't worry.
Only slow zombies, no fast zombies, right? Okay. So Dwayne Jones is the star of this film, and I feel like this viewing of it for me, even though this is probably like my fifth or sixth time seeing it, Dwayne Jones is my favorite part of the movie. I think he makes the movie. I think
Barbara does nothing.
Barbara's bad, and they make up for that in the remake.
Yes. Which is, you talk about like Sign of the Times or social commentary, like, by 1990 when the remake, that's after Sigourney Weaver, and you have the strong heroine. Look at the difference the movie is, from 1968 to 1990.
Yeah.
Now the main character is actually the woman.
Right.
And she's the strong one versus in the original,
I mean, so you grow as a person, like...
First you tackle racism, then you tackle misogyny or whatever.
Which again, not doing it intentionally. But like he's fucking definitely in his head by Dawn of the Dead, which I guess we'll talk about when we get there. But like that stuff is very pointed, And then in Day of the Dead, probably maybe too much. Like you gotta, not everybody in the, whatever. Anyway, we'll talk about it when we get to it. So I don't know what to say about Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead is a classic drive-in movie. I still think it's very effective. It feels very primal. The advantage it has over Dawn of the Dead, even though I think at this point I'm just going to say Dawn of the Dead is still it's the best movie in the bunch.
Absolutely.
But I've gone back and forth. I've actually there's something about the primalness of there's something about like just the raw essence of Night of the Living Dead that I still respect.
You go back to
in Dawn.
Sometimes movies that break the fourth wall with like calling it a zombie or saying like, oh, in the movies they do this. In this one, it's the idea that nobody knows what's going on, but they don't have any reference point.
Right.
You know, at least even when you're watching, as a viewer, you watch Dawn of the Dead, and the characters are in Dawn of the Dead, you feel like in that culture, there's the idea of like horror movies and scary things, whereas like in 1968, like you said, you had drive-ins. It wasn't this mass, thing that you could quantify. It'd be like, holy shit, what is going on?
You're right.
So the characters are much more scared, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more of a scary movie. Dawn of the Dead.
They don't call it like, oh, the vampires are out to get us or something. This is legitimate. It's almost like saying people in the past are dumber than people now, because we're exposed to more than what they were exposed to. So what a person who's living in 1968 sees this versus a person living in 2000 or something. Oh, I've seen a million zombie movies or horror movies or monster movies. This is a little more fresh.
Right.
So the characters are going to react differently than they would, It's hard to see it from their perspective back in the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, I try to. I mean, I still see that.
Think about War of the Worlds. Or, that's the name, the radio thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was originally H.G. Wells' novel.
How many people it tricked because they don't know any better.
Right.
They didn't know that it could be Martians are coming on the radio.
Right.
They're dumb.
Right.
Not dumb, but
no, I get what you're saying, yeah.
More gullible. So not an actor, but a character in a 1968 movie is going to be much more susceptible to what's happening around them with, I guess, dead people walking towards them in a building. They're going to react differently than 1990 or something. So.
But I still think that, like,
but then
with the exception of Ben, because I think Dwayne Jones' character, what I love so much about, he keeps this level head,
right,
and he's just so practical. I'm never going to not be entertained sitting down watching it, just seeing him figure it out.
Yeah.
Just like watching him work it out in his brain.
But I mean, the idea of like Barbara just shutting down because like to that person, their brain could not even comprehend what this must be.
And that made sense for 1968, but now you go back and you look at it and you're like, oh my God, will you please, like, good Lord, snap out of it. But it's super tight, man. I think that I was thinking about this. I'll talk about it more, I guess, when we talk about the remake. But it translated so well to a remake because I think that the core of that script is still just really strong.
Yeah.
I think you could take this whole thing, and somebody probably has already done it, and do a stage production. Like, you couldn't do that with Dawn of the Dead. But I see Night of the Living Dead in my head because it's still more claustrophobic. Still, most of the movie is just characters working it out and talking to each other. It's not really action scenes there's certainly action to it, but most of it is really just like this claustrophobic drama that plays out between these characters in the small quarters.
Yeah.
And that's its strength. It's always going to be its strength.
And like we said, for through all of Romero's zombie history was always something about the idea that humans working together, not working together, constantly being the reason why things don't work out. It goes back to the very first movie. It's the idea that someone's arguing about this, and it's like, idiots, you need to band together because if you don't, you're all going to die.
Right.
But if you'd work together, you could probably survive or this and that. But of course, an argument where to go to the basement or not the basement or boarding up the windows or, like, again, snap out of it, Barbara. It's just, even way back then, those themes have permeated through all the movies.
There's still a sense, though, in the first movie. I think in the second, in Dawn of the Dead, it is more about, like, the strong survive. Like, if you fuck up or, like, you act dumb or whatever, like, you ain't gonna make it. Whereas, like, Night of the Living Dead, there's actually still a lot of just earnest, like, oh man, sometimes bad luck. Like, when they go, everything that happens with the truck is just kind of like, that all seemed very human to me. Like, it makes sense in your head when you all play it out, but then, like, I can't really tell anybody that they're being, like, an idiot or stupid. It was just kind of like you're panicked and things are happening and, like, oh well, like, it just, sometimes things go bad. Let me think what else I have to say about this movie. You're right. We talked so much about it in the video and the other podcast. Now that I'm remembering, so much iconic imagery, like hands coming through boards, like all the hands coming to get you, clawing, grabbing at you through like a boarded up window or whatever. Like, that all started here. Like, that was never a thing before, or maybe somebody could show me one. And I want to say, I did a lot of research on this stuff.
Just straight up the phrase, like, we need to board up these doors and windows.
Right.
Which, again, starts it for me with the horror siege thing, was that the idea of the castle doctrine and keeping this is our space, and how do we keep things out of it? And what would you plan? How would you lay traps or whatever it is? That that one line, we need to board the doors and the windows because you feel vulnerable as shit. And the second you make this thing strong and you feel a little bit more secure, you can think about what are you going to do now.
Yeah.
But at the point before that, like you said, you're just panicking. Like, what do we do? They're just going to break right down the fucking window. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Okay, now that we've got them all boarded up, we can feel a little bit like, now what do we do? We have time to think about this, protect ourselves. Plan.
Right.
And that's, to me, zombie movies are always about planning. Like,
yeah, I mean, he sets the tenor for this. I mean, in case it feels like you're joining a conversation that we already started, that you weren't there. When we say horror siege, we're kind of talking about it's sort of like a subgenre that Kyle and I have like kind of think exists that people don't really like refer to.
Oh, by the way, that's our names, Ryan and Kyle.
Ryan and Kyle. Hi, I'm Ryan, by the way.
If you don't know that by now,
I guess we should probably introduce ourselves.
Yeah. Also, we're gonna answer some questions from our fans, from people.
We got like a half dozen
questions.
Do
we call them fans or just people who are following us?
The community
members. Yeah.
I want to talk more about this movie, but we also have like 8 other movies to talk about.
Yeah, and also we've talked about it at length before.
Yeah.
It's the oldest one. Everyone kind of knows what it is.
Go watch Horror Siege video.
And, at the end they shoot him and he's not a zombie.
Yeah. Oh, so I mean, like, also incredibly bleak and like,
yes.
One of the things, big deal of this movie, other than just the race stuff and the guts, and another way it's very transgressive is that not a whole lot of movies end this way. Yeah. It's made a very indie film. This movie, like,
it's not uplifting.
No,
let's just say that there's no happy ending.
Hell no, it's incredibly dark.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of meat on its bones.
I mean, even stuff like I
don't get credit for that one.
That was good. I wasn't listening to you. Like the daughter killing her mother. It's like on one hand, it like breaks its own rules, or not. It hasn't really set up rules yet. But if you start thinking about zombies in terms of like, why is she using trial? 2, she didn't eat her.
Right.
She's not like attacking or trying to bite her.
But even he has said like throughout the time like that it still was experimental. It wasn't quite defined.
But that scene is amazing. It's like one of the best scenes, and just the sound design and everything. It's so eerie and messes with you, and I try to imagine seeing that in 1968 and that really like getting under your skin. It still works. This movie's good.
Yeah, the movie still works. It's definitely, sometimes it's hard to watch an older movie or this or that. Like, it's slower, or the music or the sound, everything. This is definitely an older movie, and it's shot in a way where, they didn't have, this wasn't a major motion picture with lots of money behind it, so the film rolls are probably a little bit dirty and whatnot. So it definitely has that feel of a very old, poorly taken care of movie, but it's still well written, well acted, the story's interesting, and to be honest, I mean, the set, just that interior they have and the exteriors, it's an interesting location.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I think you can take this, jump 100 years from now, and I think you can adapt the screenplay into a script, and you could perform this, in theater in the park or whatever the fuck, like you'd probably have to do some sets and stuff like that. But it's like you could read this around a table, and it would still be interesting to listen to, because it is more about like the, should we do this? Should we not do this? Well, you're wrong. Well, I'm right.
Yeah.
Like even just the things with Ben recalling, like he kind of not loses his cool, but he kind of like he gets a little like, man, the shit I saw. I know it's been a while since you've seen this, but like there's a scene where he basically talks about like his first time seeing the zombies and stuff, and it has to do with like this guy in a truck and eventually going to a gas station and exploding, and and yeah, it's like and then Barbara tells her story, and it's just like, and then Johnny, it gets, and then he's like, shut up. It's just right out. It's just funny because like he does his thing, and then she's not allowed to do hers. But even that stuff is just very like a good actor like can do all that. Like it wouldn't even need to be a film. You can listen to it as a radio, like you mentioned the War of the Worlds thing, and I think that would still be effective. It's
one of those things where you go like the difference between like a classically trained or theater trained actor versus an actor's actor. And this feels very, like I said, a stage play. They feel very theater actors, but it works. It works.
Well, he was
right.
That was his deal.
Again, you look at the remake. You have someone like Tony Todd, who's like a different imposing force than this pretty. Not to say pretty boy, but like he's thin. He's like young. It's so funny. He's not some rugged tough guy. He's like a very he's a theater.
Right.
But it works. So
yeah, it works for me too.
Night of the Living Dead, good. Go watch it. Still good. Now, next movie, Dawn of the Dead.
All right.
We gotta move at a pace because we're idiots.
We're jumping ahead 10 years to 1978, and now we have
still directed by George Romero.
These are all, well, they're not all by George Romero, right? Well, we'll let you know when they're not by George Romero when we get to them.
So, Dawn of the Dead.
It's a $1.5 million budget, which isn't, I mean, it's a lot higher I was about to say it's like not that much higher than the other one, but it's actually incredible. It's a much higher.
It's only like 14 times higher.
Yeah. So Dawn of the Dead is interesting for lots of different reasons. One is the mall. This does not happen because George Romero sat down and said, oh, what if they end up in a mall? This is literally like they had friends who owned a mall and said, oh, we can use that? I'll write an entire script around this concept.
Back to like a home movie making, not home, but the idea of who you know and the area you're in. So,
right.
Yeah, you could say this movie costs like an arm and a leg.
I'm going to let you do them for the rest of the night. I'm done. So this one is also... I don't remember the history behind this stuff. Now I feel bad. Like Dario Argento was actually involved in this somewhere or another. Like it's almost like he sponsored him or like produced him. Like I remember like he
paid to have him go to Rome and to write a script. And he said as long as I get rights for it, then I can make a sequel from it. And you can, No, it's not this because the Zombie 2 thing is actually a totally separate thing. I think because that's a different filmmaker. That's Fulci. Yeah. Oh, sorry. But
Dario Argento did make it's Zombie Zombi in Italy, and it was a completely different cut. It's shorter. And has different music. Not completely different music, but there's a lot of music that is different. There's like three different cuts.
There's a European version. I remember there being a European version on the Blu-ray, and then like the extended cut, and then the theatrical.
Right.
If you want to learn that stuff, don't get it from us.
Yeah, we're not going to get up. You're not going to get in the weeds with that stuff.
So right off the bat, the opening music. Just the way the movie opens.
This is Goblin. So before we had library music for Night of the Living Dead, now we have Goblin.
And also, there's a mix. There's like two different.
It's pretty much library music and Goblin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's library and it's not just them. It opens just pointing the camera at a wall, like a carpet shaggy wall for it's a control room. So you need to have like.
It kind of vaguely does look like meat or flesh or something like that.
I guess.
It gives you that red. Sense.
But it's just amazing. It literally just opens with. There's a shot of the wall, and the titles are, the directed by whatever, and it zooms out, and then it has her sleeping in the corner. And it's just the fucking creepy. It's just done. Yeah. It's just a fucking strong opening. I love this movie.
Yeah, I love this movie too.
I love this movie so much. It does suffer from being an older movie with some bad acting. It's kind of like I feel like
Chocolate Man.
Well, I just feel like a Star Wars. I get shit for that, but I'm like, God damn, Mark Hamill was a bad actor in the first Star Wars movie. But it's old. They weren't good actors back then. I don't know.
I'm just being quiet.
I know. I would just be mean, but no. I mean, there's a lot of shitty acting back then. I don't know if
I guess. What really stands out for you?
Flyboy and Flygirl. And she even
works for me.
It works. It's fine. But she even admitted when she got the role, she lied about her acting ability. She's like, I wasn't good at shit. I didn't have this experience. I lied to get in there.
She's got some great scenes though. There's stuff that does come off. Sometimes when you're not an actor, there's stuff that can come off like more natural in some ways.
Yeah, but it's just facial expressions, knowing how to emote in front of a camera when you're talking to the character. Like that's why I couldn't be an actor.
Right.
Like I could probably deliver some funny lines and do me, but if I had to sit there and have a conversation, it'd be awkward as shit because I'm like, I don't know how to have a conversation on camera.
Right.
And I feel like part of Flyboy's same thing. He didn't know how to look, whereas you have Scott Reiniger and Ken Faree who are like, no, those are fucking actors. They know what they're doing.
Except that Scott Reiniger, I think, he was like a waiter.
But that's an actor.
Yeah, but
all actors are waiters, right?
Right.
But what I mean is he carries the presence of.
Yeah, but even that works because then David M.G. I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah,
that's Steven.
Steven Flyboy.
Steven Flyboy. I don't know what his last name is. It's Flyboy. He's the outsider, right? Like he's the one that's not a part of the group. So like,
no, he
still works.
Part of the group.
There's clearly this dynamic where like the two boys go play and he wants to go play too, but he's not cool enough.
Right, but him and Roger were friends before.
Oh, okay.
Like when they get to the helicopter, Roger's the one that comes up.
No, I understand what you're saying, but none of that really comes across.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like clearly, it's like the two soldier boys get to play soldier, and he was like, "I want to go play soldier,"
Yeah, and he's a fucking dork,
right?
Doesn't know how to shoot a gun. He's kind of a wiener.
So what else? What you said? This suffers from what?
Just the acting, and even some of the zombies.
Yeah.
Are kind of goofy in a way, but again,
goofy's kind of the right word though, because I don't think of
it is silly, but
Night of the Living Dead to me is more of like a nightmare. It feels like a fever dream, and Dawn of the Dead to me has always been more of a comic book, and I think that that's not accidental. I mean, you have scenes with bikers throwing pies in the faces of zombies and stuff like that, like to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And think of the way the movie ends.
But with the gore, with the scariness of it, I mean, because there's like again the music in this movie. There's somber times in this movie where, and what Roger goes through later after he gets bit, like it gets dark, it gets
for sure.
grim, but it does have its comedic moments.
I think it's just more. I think it's more like a juggling of tones.
Yeah.
Which
I would say right off the bat, I think there's a really interesting line when she's talking about we have to stick here, and he's like, let's take the helicopter, get out of here. And she's like, no, we can't. And the cameraman comes over and goes, oh, the emergency networks are taking over.
Our responsibility is finished. Yeah.
And it's delivered very.
It's a little weird. I like it though. That's like these are all the things I love about it.
Because it sets the tone for he's not just saying that. He's saying the responsibility of all the cameraman, but he's saying the responsibility of humans. Like we're done.
Right.
This is not our responsibility is finished. There's nothing left for us. It's a little ham.
Yeah.
But it's great ham.
But that's the stuff.
I like a good ham.
You wonder if it's intentional or not. Like you're saying, like that actor doesn't know how to deliver a line. Whereas
no, it's like you could tell the way he's like looking around. I'm
just thinking when you think of Day of the Dead, and you think of Night of the Living Dead. Like I don't think he recaptures his humor again until Land of the Dead. Like Day of the Dead is not a chuckle fest.
No.
But Dawn of the Dead definitely has like a sense of almost like apocalyptic black humor. Do you remember like how like literally how Dawn of the Dead ends? Like how the credits come up on that movie.
Yeah. And the fucking terrible keyboard sounds that it just
it does the
clock. Yeah. Before that, when the helicopter.
Yeah, I mean that's literally goes from, and I don't know. It kind of like don't take this too seriously.
There are three tones. There's the fucking American, not American, like Captain America music. And then it gets in the helicopter and it's dun 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 dun, and then it fucking shifts so fast. But that's the epitome of the movie.
But I don't think it's because he doesn't know what he's doing.
No, I didn't say that.
I think the Dawn of the Dead has a sense of levity to it. That in addition to the dark stuff, is definitely there.
Well, I'll just say one thing is talking about levity. It's still so pertinent to today's society. Besides just, malls are dying, but the idea that a lot of the news reports they watch, like they don't listen to the scientists. They don't stay level-headed. They don't listen to what needs to be done. They're still thinking irrationally. They're still thinking about their family loved ones.
But there's an indictment of those guys too, though, because the guy with the eye patch is like,
but again, just demonizing. He
was crazy.
Yeah, in a way. But not completely, because he's like dropped bombs in the major cities. Like,
no,
unfortunately,
that's not what he said.
Well,
he does say that, but he also says no. His thing is like we need to feed them, or something.
Then he says we need to eat them.
No, that's what he's right. He says that's insane.
Yes, absolutely. But again, he's throwing out stuff. He's not saying any one of them is the right thing. But we have to stop thinking irrationally. We have to think like, well, what if we are running out of food? Can we eat them? That's a stupid idea, but it has to be said to be nope, that one's not good, go to the next one.
I feel like George Romero was like that guy with the eye patch was there for George Romero to be like, look at the logical scientists. Like I don't know.
I can say is in today's climate.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's amazing how much that's come full circle that people just like want to deny science nowadays.
It's more prevalent, I think, in the first scene where it's the two guys talking at the news station, and that guy's a lot more level-headed, and
It's like we have to be rational. Right. Well, actually, that's the guy with the eye patch again.
And then, of course, we have our first big like action set piece that if racism was accidentally a topic in the first movie, it is definitely the forefront here. And you have a tenement building filled with Puerto Ricans who, because of their religion, don't want to be giving up their dead.
Yeah.
And so you get more here of that, logic versus superstition, but also definitely about like
because that
shit goes bad, like the racists really come out to play.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's like
these grease bags have got it better than I do, and shit like that.
And then like when they're flying the helicopter over, and like, look at all these rednecks, they're probably enjoying it, or whatever when they're shooting the zombies.
It's hard to not turn into a topic on societal issues, which the movies are all about that. But it's just kind of true because I've had guys that worked around and be like, oh, this guy's government welfare, and I work so hard for this. I go, fucking. Do you want to trade places? If you want to whine so hard about this person getting all the free ride in life, right? You act like they get so much stuff. I go, why don't you trade places?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because you fucking like where you're at. You like your salary. You like all the things you get. So stop fucking complaining. You have a better life.
Right.
I get a lot of that shit from our old job, and it's just. I think about it here with that one cop when he's just like, they got something better than I do. I'm like, yeah, I want to live in an apartment building in a tiny cramped place in the projects because it's free. Yeah, that's sure.
So this is still a relatively low budget movie for like the time it's coming out, right? Obviously. And I think he could have gotten more money, but then he would have thought. It would have been like he would have trimmed down his vision, right? He probably had to be rated R, or whatever.
Well, plus, yeah, because that's one of the things that it came out. It was unrated and it couldn't get distribution.
Right, but I think
they stuck to that.
I think about these scenes, like the vision of like the news scene, and then like directly from that into the tenement scene, and how he just had this such distinct vision of chaos that he was trying to get across.
Chaos was the exact word I was thinking of too,
and it's very effective. But God, can you imagine what that scene would have been like with a budget?
Oh yeah.
Unreal. It would have like been I still think it's an all-timer, but like for that time, I think about that. I'm like, nobody did anything like that. Nobody would have ever shown like how close could anybody have gotten in 1978 to like, wow, look at like the police militarization going in, people getting their heads blown off.
Yeah.
People that are so dismayed by the carnage that they're putting guns in their mouth and blowing their heads off. Like that's pretty raw. And I guess
I don't want to touch on another such subject, but the idea of like the good cop, bad cop, like one bad apple kind of thing, like as Willie's going crazy and Roger's like, someone help me here. Like none of the other guys are stopping him.
Right.
They're just letting him fucking go ham and shooting innocent people.
Ken Foree comes in and takes care of business.
And then he has to feel like they're having that conversation in the basement later, or when he meets Roger again down there and he goes, I didn't see nothing. I didn't see how he died.
There's still this idea that like things are going to come out okay and like the things that people are doing in this chaos like might come back to get them.
But even then, the guy who was going on a murderous raid, he was crazy.
Right.
Who could fault him for stopping, right?
Right.
But yet he still has to somehow kind of pretend like I didn't see that happen. Like that's scary that even with all this, do you have to be nervous about I don't know.
It's like Peter gets it first.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
He lays down. He's like he wouldn't have shot that guy if he didn't already know in his brain that like society's gone. And when they're in the helicopter and people are saying things and he's like, "Wake up, suckers! We're thieves and bad guys."
Yeah.
Like it's a great line, but
I kind of felt it is, but I was like, well, they're not bad guys. They're not really thieves. They're just trying to survive.
Right, but he's saying that like according to somebody else, like, society catches up with them.
It does show the arrogance of Flyboy. He's like, we have what is it? GONID.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think anyone fucking cares about your ID for your helicopter, idiot. Yeah. But they're not bad. Also, I don't know why, but it reminds me of Homer killing Zombie Flanders, and he's like, "Oh, you killed Zombie Flanders," and he goes, "He was a zombie."
Yeah.
Like he's just going and shooting everybody.
Right.
Also, yeah, the head blowing up, full of like I think it was full of like condoms filled with fake blood and shit.
I think I remember from one of the making of documentaries.
You're wrong.
What?
Before you say it, you're wrong. Anyways, what?
What?
Say it.
I was going to talk about how Scott Reiniger, I think it was him that like brought his like grandmother, or she said she wanted to see him in his movie, or was it his mom or something, or some relative like that. And they're like, no, I want to see your movie. And he's like, I don't know, they kind of insisted. And he said that that's how far they made it is when the head exploded. She's like, oh, I'd like to go now. And I was like, okay, yes, I'll walk you out.
Okay.
That was it.
That's not.
What did you think
I thought you were going to say something else. I'll talk about it later probably.
All
right. I go back to the Jeff Gerstmann. I want to be an old man shooting people in like a Mad Max environment. I want to shoot like people for gas. Like the idea that you want to see the apocalypse and you want to see what it's like. And you watch movies like this and I go like, I really am almost like in a simulation. Almost like if I could like, I could just wake up and it never happened because I don't want to fucking live like that. But just to see if it actually happened, how society would fall. Like how fast would looting start? How would people band together? Like it really begs the question, like how would society fall and how fast would it fall? Because like they're still on the news. They're still running cameramen broadcasting while outside it seems like it's a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
You'd think everyone would have gone home by then or, there would be nothing left. But no, there's still, guys in the studio doing interviews and the guy's still acting like it's a TV show. Like you said, this isn't a fucking show anymore. This isn't, for your viewers and the Democrats versus the Republicans. This is life now. Mm-hmm. And it's just weird to kind of see. I wonder if it actually happened. How fast would things like news programs already be over, television not even be on anymore? I have power going out. Like, I don't want to find out, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would be curious if you could have this simulation. Like, I'm really like to see how it would be. And could I survive,
World War Z, I think, is still probably the most realistic, like, depiction of what.
But they're fast. That's scary. I don't want fast zombies.
Not in the movie, the book.
Right.
Fuck them. I mean, the movie's all right. But no, in the book. But I think the most realistic part of that book is that, it actually doesn't, like, end the world. Like, people actually do figure this shit out, and it'd be really bad for a little while, but eventually, like, you'd know what to do.
I guess, like, I wrote, like, is your... Also, like, the guys who are at work, like, not the cops, but I guess, is your family at home? Like, do you feel safe with your family at home by themselves and you're at your job? Like, are they
The guys
paying
are
you?
like, we thought we can maybe find an island. What island? Any island.
Well, not those guys,
Where
but I
is-
mean, like the cameraman. Like, I need to go be with my wife and my kids. I need to make sure they're safe. Like, I'm
Right.
not gonna stay at my job. Fuck my job.
Right.
But even like when they're doing the raid on the projects, like they have barricades out. Like, there's still no zombies shambling in the streets yet. You know, it still seems like the streets are okay out in the open. It's still safe to drive a car around. It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's
know.
kind of the. I mean, that's
That's what I mean. Like the idea, like you see it, but like I would love to see a movie
because you still
literally.
only see things from their point of view,
Yeah.
and that's obviously part of the budget. But it also works in their favor. Like, because what you're saying, if you all of a sudden get like a bird's eye view beyond even the helicopter, where you get a top down view of like how that all goes down. But that's not what it is. George Romero
Right.
zombies
No,
have always
I know.
been about like staying with these characters.
I'm talking
and
about
seeing
like
from-
my crazy, my own mind. Like
right.
you get to see it in Diary when the idea like there's a cameraman who uploads the footage that was cut by the studio because
Right.
he wants to show people the real story. Like if it happened for real, like how soon would zombies just be wandering the streets in rows? You know, like yeah.
So Dawn of the Dead is also brilliant because let's get down to brass tacks. There's obviously what people love about Dawn of the Dead is this is a doubling down or like recognizing and embracing what this genre is that he is like coming up with. You know,
Yeah.
essentially with Night of the Living Dead. Now he's really going for it. Now bites get you.
Yeah.
You get, headshots. That's what takes him down. Like he starts treating it, not so much like a virus, but really getting more into that purview.
Getting the rules and stuff.
Right. And like that, watch this movie and you're like, what would I do? What would you do? Planning, all that kind of stuff. But the big thing is...
Again, you get an erection thinking about like getting in the mall and
Yeah,
locking
and
it up.
I remember
and
having those
stuff.
long conversations after watching this.
And it's stupid, but it's like, oh God, look at all that stuff, But stuff doesn't matter.
But the thing that really makes this the movie the household name is just that it's in a mall and that fantasy of living in the mall. That's like the number one with a bullet. Like what makes this special?
Right.
What makes it? It's a zombie movie, but like what really makes it special is like, yeah, but what if you lived in the mall? Like, what would that be like? And that might seem quaint now, but like back then, especially when
also-
malls weren't like so commonplace.
What is that? It's one of those new outdoor malls.
I know. It's great, right?
Indoor malls.
And that's where you get that whole awesome, like, what is it? I don't fucking know, second act, third act sequence or whatever, where these guys have just been like, they've like made IKEA'd out their living spaces and they got racks for their guns on the wall. They have moved in, and how
Bored they are of it all.
It's even more than boredom. It's like an existential, like all these people would end up killing themselves probably if they'd like stayed there,
Not me.
Yeah.
I'd write it out until there's no more food left and
I
then
know,
figure
right?
it out.
I'd be
first.
fine, man. It'd be fine. It's surprised they still have power. At some point, you feel like the power just
yeah.
go. I like Ken Foree slapping zombies. That's one of my favorite things. I just want to make sure
Slapping?
He slaps zombies, like smacks them, like not punches, but slaps them. And at one point, he does like a Karate Kid style, like crane kick
Yeah.
at the end. You were saying like the things that kind of like I find them charming now, but like the only thing that really like I'm still just like makes me lose. I'm not able to suspend my disbelief is just how they hold their guns and just stuff like that. Like, go ahead and tell Ken Foree that doing the little kick thing looks pretty dumb and silly, and don't do that. Like especially at the
Right.
end of the movie where it's supposed to be like this triumphant
But
moment.
isn't this one of those times in cinema where like the ninja stuff from
Exactly. This is what Ken Foree thinks of these. Like he's being Bruce Lee badass. But yeah.
I was making a note like Peter feeling bad about killing zombies. Like in a way when they have to clear out the thing and they feel
beginning,
bad. I'm just like, fuck.
Right.
You go back to that logical thing of like they're not people, and even if they were people, fuck people.
Yeah.
People trying to steal your shit. Like it. You have to do it. You got to do what you got to do.
Right.
You don't get to feel bad for it. It's survival.
Right.
You're not sitting there like hanging them and torturing them and fucking around with them. That's what happens. The rednecks do that kind of stuff for you. Also, the song with the rednecks, I'm a man.
Yeah.
I'll never treat a woman right. Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, they're on the... Now, is that a real song or is that one they made for the movie? Because that shit is on the nose.
Probably more library music.
That is not even hinting at, like, how bad those people are. They're just assholes.
Right.
Yeah. There's a cool transition when Peter shoots at the camera and it cuts to Flyboy at the docks, the dead radio operator. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about. It's when they're clearing out the basement with the zombies and he's shooting at the handgun. And he shoots right at the camera.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, you see a dead guy in a chair, his head slumps back, and it's Flyboy at the docks before they go to the mall and everything.
Okay.
It's just one of those really interesting transitions.
There's a lot of great cuts.
Yeah.
This is very cut. He makes way more cuts in Dawn of the Dead than he does in Night of the Living Dead. It makes the movie
The actor who plays Rhodes in Day of the Dead is one of the guys who gets on the boat in the beginning.
That means that you watched a certain cut because he's not actually in one of the cuts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't talk, but he's...
Oh, maybe it isn't.
He asks for cigarettes, but the other guy's going, "Got any cigarettes?" Like, he doesn't have a line, but he's there. He says like one quick thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
I like how when they
Joseph
do
Pilato.
When they do ask for cigarettes, they all fucking lie. You guys got any cigarettes?
Yeah,
no.
that's
And they
great.
take off. They're all fucking smoking. It's just again, that's the world the way it is. It's like there are fucking cigarettes. We're not going to give you one. I don't know you.
Right.
We need these cigarettes because we're crazy. People who are running don't mind others that are doing the same thing and looting, abandoning their posts. So hey, you guys are cops. Shouldn't you be doing your job? Nope. You know what I mean? They're getting on the boat to go find an island. It seems like people who are like leaving, see other people who are leaving, they're like, okay, good luck. You know, like no one's stopping anybody.
Did you see any of the kind of shade that got thrown at that movie with The Rock where he's like a rescue helicopter pilot and like earthquakes and like all this crazy shit
San
happening?
Andreas?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but like apparently he's just like, oh, disaster. I'm just going to go save my family.
My wife.
Yeah. It's like, you're taking this very expensive piece of equipment that's supposed to be used to save people, and you're taking it just to go save your wife. Anyway, it was just kind of an interesting thing people seem to like criticize it for.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I guess it wasn't really society crumbling.
God, at one point, Flyboy asks for water, and he pours it all over his face. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, they don't have very much water, and you're just like, oh, we poured it in my face. Like,
Yeah.
wiener. He is fucking... Ugh.
Flyboy sucks. You know, yeah. He's still, there's things I still learn to like about him, though. He's okay.
Yeah.
And he's the best zombie. He's such a good goddamn zombie. And I love that scene. His like last little like struggle on going. I like it, man. He's like kicking, pushing one guy out with his foot and pulls the gun out and shoots him. And
at one point he becomes a good actor, and then he's a zombie. He's a good zombie. Like, why couldn't you do that the whole time?
Right.
Speaking of the rednecks, makes you really think that those are actually the guys at the end of night. Like you think that as he's flying over the redneck shooting, you're actually witnessing.
No, I always took it that way. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like that's.
Yeah, it's still connecting.
There,
you never have like characters that cross over to other movies except for Diary into Survival.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna go check what's in the hangars.
Yeah. Do you have that stuff anywhere?
I might. I think I do. We did a project years ago when I was
your project.
My project. We were in college, and I was trying to do some ADR. And we just picked the scene from Dawn of the Dead, and we're like, let's just dub it over with our voice.
They're filling up the helicopter.
Yeah, and it was funny.
It's just when you start saying even a small group of words enough times, like 50, 60, 70, 100 times, it doesn't seem like English anymore. What are words? Everything starts sounding really strange.
Why am I talking with an accent? Why can't I say this word right?
Right. It's funny.
I thought what you were going to say earlier about the when I said no is that so the end of the movie is supposed to be that she commits suicide by putting her head in the helicopter blades.
That's a story. It's like
the
a
original
rumor or whatever.
It's not a rumor.
Okay.
It was the original idea because they built the apparatus and then they didn't do it.
Right.
They used that apparatus on a zombie earlier.
Take his head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had a thing and they pull it in his head, whoop, the helicopter blades.
I would have really not liked this movie if that's how it ended.
If it had a sad ending just like the first one. But
the first one is like nothing ends in a suicide, like the main characters never do that. Like,
right.
I'm happy it didn't do that. Like, I'm glad it ended that way. I imagine they go off together and they raise that kid together or something like that. I don't know.
She's pregnant, huh?
Yeah. Peter's going to be a better dad than Steven was.
Also, they kill kids in this movie.
That's true.
He shoots zombie kids. That's pretty. Again, also
a step up from the first one where you have a kid kill his mother, which is like a big deal from 1968. Like this is a big deal, like shooting at kids.
The balls.
They still can't show that though. Like it's kind of cut back and forth between the different things.
That's what I'm saying. Like the balls to put that in a movie. I mean, you think about it nowadays. I remember when Batman the animated series was you can't point a gun at the screen.
Right.
It's a Saturday morning kids show. You can't point a gun at the camera.
Right.
They did.
Yeah.
They did in one of them, and they got away with it. So, that shoulder ramming Flyboy does. Wouldn't there?
Yeah, God, I don't know.
So bad.
I don't know. It's still fun though. I wouldn't have it any other way at this point.
Roger shows Flyboy how to aim, and he gets cocky about it. And he starts hitting his gun out of his arm.
Yeah, I like that though.
Jesus, there's so many good things in this movie. Oh God, food, nice, segregated, the grocery store, Walmart, privacy. Oh yeah, because people go, "Where would you want to be a zombie apocalypse?" I go, Walmart. I go, fuck Walmart, and besides the fact that everyone's going to want to be in a Walmart. Walmart's just one big open area.
Yeah.
A mall has like individual stores, so you get like a little bit of privacy.
Right.
Like I'm gonna be in this one, you're gonna be in that one. We have like the shutters. Walmart would just feel like this big. I don't know. Like I guess I'd be scared. Like I would always want to sleep in a corner somewhere with like a door, like somewhere I'd feel like secure. Whereas Walmart just feels open.
Yeah.
And I would always feel vulnerable no matter where I'm at.
Right.
Sleep in the bathroom with the door locked or something. Screwdriver in the ear.
Mm-hmm.
Good zombie kill.
Yep.
That was an insert shot because when they were filming,
Yeah, they had a continuity error.
yeah, he had a jacket tied around his waist, and later he didn't. So they had to come up with this, like, how did he lose his jacket? Oh, a zombie grabbed him, and he jammed the screwdriver in his ear. It's pretty awesome.
I feel like the shots in here were after he gets like the sniper Winchester, I don't know, like the Winchester rifle, the scope or whatever, and the shots of like I feel like we take for granted now of like the camera is like the view through the scope.
Yeah.
But I can't remember a whole lot of stuff I've seen like that before this. Like for
James Bond, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. I guess that would be true. Like in the openings where he then shoots the screen and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably not in the movie, but at least during those
It still
scenes.
feels pretty novel for 1978.
How fucking comedic are the bullet ricochets?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jesus. Like, I don't know how many times that bullet bounced around that room, but that's when it gets a little hammy, but it's funny. I love the music. Abortion and the end of the world. Do you do it or not? Is it the smart choice?
And then Peter knows how to. He's like, I know how. I'm like, damn, what is this guy? What's this guy's life? You know?
It raises another one of those things. It's just like, man, that's some forward thinking shit. Like, what do you? I mean, do you have that's going to not slow you down, but it's loud. And are you going to die during childbirth? I mean, that's a scary thing. Yeah, Roger's a little bit of a misogynistic asshole because he's like doesn't want to hear shit from what she has to say. Like she talks and he folds his arms. Like, oh, I got to hear from this bitch.
Yeah, but. Yeah, I mean, I guess Peter's the more open-minded one
and
there.
And Flyboy is like embarrassed that his woman.
I know. He's like, I can't believe you embarrassed me in front of the boys.
Right, but also Roger doesn't care. He's embarrassed. And again, Peter, the black character, is the best. He's the one who's thinking straight.
Yeah.
You know, again, it kind of breaks down a little bit of the walls of racism here. Like, he's the most level-headed, smartest, does what's right, and then you got the other guy who's being a wiener, and Roger's being way too crazy, gets himself bit, and dies because he's just fucking around, you know. And then, of course, of all that, the woman's who's actually watching them and saying, hey, dipshits, this, and this, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's actually, her, like, I want to learn, we need to have more than one person that knows how to fly that helicopter is, like, one of the most, like, practical, sanest things that, like, anybody could say.
So we go from, like, black main character in the 60s to now a black main
Very
character.
Very intentionally so this time, yeah.
And a woman.
Right.
You know, again,
he's working there. Like, she's still just like, oh, I don't know what to do. But, like, even throughout the movie, she's like, don't go without leaving me without a gun. I want to learn how to use a helicopter. I ain't going to be your guys' what is she, den mother? You know, we're getting there. And then when we get to the third movie, we actually have a proper, like, female protagonist.
Basically, you learn here is that arrogance will get you killed in the apocalypse.
Yes.
Not taking it serious. Who shoots first? Flyboy shoots, and then when they break in the mall, oh, hey, we took it.
Because it's when they start taking the money or something, and he starts getting all like.
Yeah, again, arrogance. If you just listen to Peter, he told you just chill out.
It's like the greed, like it's all ours, you know.
Someone calls the zombies sissies. I think Peter he calls them sissies. We'll get all you sissies or something like that. I'm like, what?
I don't remember that.
That's very mean. I love the false wall.
Yeah,
I would have never, for some reason, never thought. I would have barricaded it up. I would never thought to make it look like there was no doorway.
Right.
That's fucking cool. Whipped and got it all line. Sort of looks like playing around the.
We're reading our notes.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm fucking talking about. I love the we whipped and got it all line. I don't know. Autocorrect.
We whipped him. We whipped him, didn't we?
Oh yeah. God, this movie is so good. We whipped him, we got it, and it's all ours.
Yeah.
And then that camera just kind of shows him laying on a fucking mattress in this room that's bland with like a barrel and a light, and it's like we whipped him, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it's great. It's just the juxtaposition between like, yeah, what did you get? This garbage little room, and you're laying on the floor with a blanket.
There is genuinely just good like George Romero. It's not like, oh, he invented zombies. Like, he's a good fucking filmmaker, and it. Probably if he wasn't, I mean, I don't know enough about it. Probably if he wasn't so, I would imagine so stubborn, because he just was like, I do not want to work. I'm just not going to work in the Hollywood system.
Right.
I don't want to. And good for him. But like this guy,
there's art in this movie. It's not just a zombie movie.
He should have he's same class of like Scorsese, Carpenter, like these guys. Like he should have. Well, Carpenter went up and then down, but like but he was of that level. Like I think he could have like continued to The scene where Peter's playing like squash with himself, like racquetball, like up on the ceiling or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that shit's masterful. Just the way it's cut and just where he put the camera and everything. And this whole montage where you haven't seen a zombie in like 10, 15 minutes. And then that ball bounces down. It's like, oh, yep, right. Yeah.
But also, it's the way he's doing it's not just him playing. It's
it's just intense. And
he's hit harder
like
and harder and harder.
Right.
And he's just fucking anger. And, okay, I got it out. Yeah.
Very subtle stuff, you know?
Also, we get no more room in hell.
Mm-hmm. Great line.
Great line.
He's a great writer. Just tons of zingers.
Do you ever watch a movie and you've watched it a million times and you kind of play this thing in your mind where you're like, oh, if only they would just do this, or like maybe they'll do the movie's gonna be exactly the same, but you have this kind of fantasy of like they'll get it right this time. They won't do this dumb thing.
Yeah.
And you kind of imagine what could be in the movie if something changed.
Right.
I hate it because I watched the movie and I'm like, oh, just have Roger calm down. Don't let him get bit.
I know.
It's hard to watch it again and again because you know bad's going to happen and you want to change it.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Woohoo!
I would be crazy if someone shot a movie and they shot like 7 different versions of it and then like every year released a new version where it's like, nope, that part didn't happen and then this happened instead.
I got news for you. That's actually most big studio movies because they test this and they go, no, that doesn't work.
No, but I mean literally like say, hey, we made another version of it. Imagine what if Peter never died,
Right, again, that's like, oh, they didn't like that. They didn't like that when Roger died. So go back and make it so he doesn't.
All the crazy people sneak in. Do you think they could hear when they call? They're like, how many guys you got up there? There's only 3 of us. And they're up there listening to it. And he's like, Jesus Christ, woman, be quiet.
Yeah.
Do you think they hear him saying that? Because the guy goes, you just fucked up real bad. Like, do you think that was a two-way conversation? Or is it just they didn't reply, so...
No, I think that they could hear that there was clearly more than like 3 people. But more than that, they could see.
No. But do you think the bikers could hear the group in the mall?
No, I don't think so.
Because it's weird how... Right, and I didn't either, but it's weird how he kind of goes...
how did he just decide? I think it was because it was already like just more of a joke than like they were going to do what they were going to do no matter what.
Right.
Like it wasn't really...
But the idea that is if like he's mad by something they said, but he shouldn't have been able to hear them. But then again, he is telling her to be quiet. Like what if it's just like always on? And
maybe.
He heard him telling her to be quiet. I don't know.
I just took it as a very like... Okay, just shut up. It's gonna be funny. Okay,
right.
Like, hey, little pig.
No, I'm talking about on the other end though. How Peter tells Fly Girl to shut up because he's trying to listen, and she's like, maybe we should. He's like, Jesus Christ, woman, shut up and let him talk. That kind of thing. I don't know. Do they hear him saying that?
Maybe,
and that's why he goes,
quiet
you
so
just fucked up real bad because he's like, I heard you.
I didn't. I don't think there's a correlation.
I know it's just weird. The guy that breaks in because of the blood test, the arm machine.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Which is he actually played one of the Puerto Ricans in brownface in the beginning of the movie too. It's funny.
I just like the zombies are going everywhere. And he decides to go sit down on the arm and put his arm in a blood pressure machine.
There's a sense of like apocalyptic humor to like this movie that it's definitely there.
I feel bad for Peter when he hears the gunshots go off in the elevator and he realizes he shouldn't have left.
He keeps going back and forth and like kind of decide if he's going to do anything about it or not.
Should just gone back, man. That's like I said. I watch it go like, go back. I mean, he's already bit at that point, but like you can put him out of his misery. He won't find you, and you can stay here.
By the way, Steven's still an asshole. Like even after this, like he fucks it all up and goes and finds the wall. Like even in death.
How long do you think they were there in the mall?
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to think about it too long because then it's probably gonna like ruin my suspension of disbelief because it's like they still have power But for the amount of time for like roving biker gangs to happen and the amount of time for them to really like put together like those apartments and stuff, the way you can really track it is her pregnancy. So she's not showing at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
By the end of the movie, she is. So you know more about this than I do.
I didn't even think about that.
How long?
I forget.
Definitely less than 9 months.
I forget what she looks like, but it probably around 5 or 6 months then, because I think she's only showing like maybe 7 months.
Which 5 or 6 months to me sounds about right.
I didn't even think about. I was like maybe a couple.
The amount of time it would take somebody to learn how to fly a helicopter, I guess. The amount of time that it would take for like I don't know. I mean,
I pegged it like maybe because time. I always think about olden times before there was lots of entertainment and nothing to do with electronics and shit. Like how did people like civilization get to where it's at? Because they didn't have anything else to do. They worked all day. The sun came up and you started until the sun went down. Imagine if you had 10 hours a day to get something done.
Yeah.
It's a crazy idea, right? They had nothing else to do.
Right.
They had lights at night. They could spend all day in there building their shit up. And, so I was like, oh, maybe like 3-4 weeks. Mm-hmm. But you're right. The pregnancy is really a giveaway. Because even at 4 weeks, they kill them all in the first couple of days. Roger dies. The place is empty. How long would you be bored? How fast would it be? Pretty fast. You know. So yeah, but I guess it's months.
It's definitely months. Yeah.
I wrote hero music and jumps and kicks and kung fu. Peter says, I give up. I'm going to kill myself.
Right.
You go ahead and fly
and
away.
All of a sudden, it sounds like almost like the A-Team music or something. Like,
yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
That sounds like Captain America, like very heroic. But yeah, right, it's A-Team. What makes him... He decides to... I
don't know.
I'm going to kill myself now.
He's an actor. You play with the eyes, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
I really don't want to go. I really don't.
What?
Just, like when he's like, I don't want to go. I really don't. Is it because like Roger died and then now Peter's gone? He just feels like he should die here too.
It could also just be like, I don't think this is it, but it could be like a thing where he was being selfish by just deciding to kill himself. Like the thought of like her flying off in a helicopter with an unborn baby is just like, wow, I really like. It'd be a bad idea to just leave her to her own devices.
Yeah, because I was like, when he tells her, like, that's why the original knew she was going to kill herself, because she's like, oh, he dies, and then what am I, by myself with the helicopter? What?
Right. God, so fucking glad they didn't do that.
Yeah. Anyways, that's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
It's one of the best movies ever made.
We hopefully gave it its due.
Watched it when we were like in our early 20s, 10 years ago, and for a movie that was that many years old at that point, and I'd finally seen it, and this is still amazing.
Did you and I see it the first time in the same night? Over at our friends at Rob's?
You had seen it, and you like...
No, I think that was the first time I'd ever watched that.
I thought we watched it in like my apartment or something.
Okay.
Or maybe your apartment.
I saw it at Rob's house.
Really?
Yeah. That's the first time I saw it. And I thought that was the first time you had seen it too, but
I remember watching Spies Like Us over there. That's about it. All right, anyways, that's
Day of the Dead.
Dawn's really good. It's really good. It's really good, and it's really good. And also has the zombie, the
one, the escalator zombie. Or what?
Yeah, the escalator zombie. I know you can't see it on the podcast, but yeah, that guy's great. All right, next.
We are now in the 80s, and George Romero said that he tried to make a zombie movie every decade, and he missed the 90s. But he didn't really, because they did the Night of the Living Dead remake. So whereas 1985...
okay, so Dawn ends with a helicopter flying off into the night.
Right.
And then day opens with the same looking helicopter flying over.
And I was listening to somebody else's podcast, and they were actually talking about that being confusing. And he went to go see Day of the Dead in the theater and saw the helicopter and thought, there they are. Oh, they're different characters.
Yeah.
But
actually, no, sorry. It opens with her in the
it's the dream sequence.
Which it's funny. my copy that I have on my media center, I actually when I re-encoded it, I just cut that part out because I don't like it.
Oh, I love that part.
Because it scares me.
Well, yeah, it's super unnerving and scary.
I know. I don't like the. I don't like it. The sound is it's shocking. I just go. I never want to watch that again.
Right.
So I'll just open on the helicopter. That'll make me happier.
The Day of the Dead is a little bit of a downer. Do you like this movie?
Do I like this movie?
Yeah.
I like this movie.
That's about right? Did I nail it on the head? Like, if you love Dawn of the Dead, you like Day of the Dead?
I more than like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it as much as I like Dawn.
You're in like with it. You're not like in love with it.
I'm in love with. It's a weird way to put it, but we shouldn't really waste time talking about shit like this.
Just kind of curious.
But there are parts of that movie that I'm absolutely in love with. And I like the rest.
Yeah.
Where Dawn I love every minute. Day I love half of it, and I like the other half.
Yeah.
If I was to eat Day of the Dead, I would eat the brains and I would leave the body.
Day of the Dead is it's a very screamy movie. It's very like intense. Everybody's really intense and yelling a lot. Which
feels legit at this point. I mean, it's this far past. I mean, how far do you think this is from Night?
In terms of the yelling level?
No, no. The chronologically, like how far do you think in the future? Like, how long has the zombie apocalypse been going at this point?
A couple of years.
Right.
Yeah, a few years.
That's why I wonder like, how long does the downfall? Let me just say, quick notes on this one. Day of the Dead has the best zombies.
Oh yeah, and some of the best gore effects, or probably the best gore effects in the series.
But it has like football zombie and clown zombie and like cheerleader and
they're a little bit more
doctor.
thriller this time. Like actual like characters. They look like music video zombies.
Oh, yeah. But it's really funny and it's dark humor theme because it's the part what's really depressing, but it's really funny.
If how much is what makes this movie special, Bub? Like what percentage?
I mean,
like 40%?
I don't know. I mean, Bub became an iconic thing. But it's not. There's a lot of strong characters. I mean, between Rhodes, between Sarah, between the new Flyboy and John.
That's we're calling him his new Flyboy.
again, another black character who's level-headed, smart, and thinks about things versus sees irrational. Either he actually is the religious one in this one, but he also has the right way to survive and not worry about certain things. Gosh, there's so many good characters in this, and they're also strong. I mean, yelling strong, but also strong-minded and willed and thoughtful. And
I really hate Steel and like Torres. Oh yeah, all the soldiers. I just like it's
Rickles.
Rickles. Oh yeah, Rickles. Yeah,
Rickles
it's
is the
Steel though.
idiot.
Steele's like is the guy with the beard, right?
Yeah.
With the backwards hat and the cigar and shit. Yeah, I don't know. I can like.
He's racist.
It's just like really strong, like too strong.
Yeah.
Like it's what's gone from like subtle or like accidental in Night of the Living Dead to subtle in Dawn has become just like beat you over the head with it in Day, and that's fine because it still feels like legitimate.
But it's scary because you think about like if you're in a situation where you're locked in an underground lab and there's nowhere to go and there's what Frankenstein says it's 400,000 to 1 when it comes to zombies versus humans. I mean, if this person exists, what do you do with them? You can't just kill the people you're with, So while he's annoying, while he's scary, he's there,
Yeah.
You can't avoid him.
Yeah, I mean,
It's unnerving, but it's just like that's your reality now.
It's just like fucking the ranking officers saying shit like maybe we should rape you.
Yeah.
Like literally like within the first like what 15 minutes of the movie, like
maybe give us a little chance of some loving.
Yeah, just like
that's creepy because again, there is no. I mean, they are the law enforcement, but there's no. I think I wrote that in my notes to the last movie. It said how fast does society fall? It said when does the rape start? Because that's when it's over.
It's such an oppressively dark movie that when you get to stuff, I don't know how late in the movie it is, but when you get to their John and the Irish communications guy get to their little like hangout. Do you think they're gay?
No.
Just saying.
No, I don't mean that in a mean way, but I mean like
it's just kind of they have their cute little like tiki like island hangout.
I think they're just because he's really religious.
Yeah, I know. I'm just fucking around.
He mentions like have some babies.
Right,
Also, he has the best fucking accent in the world.
It's yeah. This is like
we could say it's almost racist or something.
Well,
no,
it's just he's starting to get to that point now where all of his characters are like
animated
caricatures.
Yes.
Where he's the Irish drunk and this is the like the islanders just go fishing and have babies.
But the reason is
no whirly bird.
He's so endearing, especially when he gives that speech about you come to look at the charts and the records and I love that character so much.
He is great.
And that's why a friend of ours was going to shoot a zombie movie a long time ago, and we actually had auditions, which I found the videos of those auditions.
I don't ever want to see that stuff.
They were
again.
in your DVD wall that you gave me. And one of the guys auditioned for it, and he had this weird accent. It was kind of Jamaican, and I went, I like it.
Yeah.
It gives the character some character. It was great.
Right. Do you believe
have some babies?
Do you believe anything about this military like stuff? Like even now I watch it and I'm just kind of like
these are the idiots that are left.
It's not even that. Like it's just like that. Back to the go to the Dawn of the Dead, like nobody knows how to hold a gun kind of thing.
Oh,
it's like
I look notes of that.
I look at this now and I'm like, there's no way any of these people are in the military. Even if they were like the bottom rung, whatever. Like, no way. Like none of these people, no way. I mean, first of all, how old is Steele? Like he's a soldier and he's like, what is he like in his 50s?
I mean, like National Guard reserves.
That's more. I can imagine that, but nobody ever says anything like that.
Or if they had like a drive after the world was over, like we need you.
Right.
It's literally, we'll take anybody.
Like what are these fatigues that they're wearing? Like none of these things. It's a little bizarre. Rhodes with this like two double giant fucking Magnum revolvers in his holsters and shit, but they're cool.
That's fucking the original Roland right there.
Yeah. Rhodes has probably one of my top 5 favorite lines in the entire Dead franchise is it's screaming full volume.
I have it. I wrote that down too.
I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time. It's one of my favorites. And then of course he's got the choke on him is really great.
Also, this is Florida, which I love that we get to see the I mean, the intro's great. The music's great. I love the music in this movie. Even
I like the music in this.
I think I played for you some songs one time in the car, and you're like, what the fuck is this? I go, you probably never listened to the Day of the Dead soundtrack because there's lyric songs.
Yeah, that stuff's weird. When you get to the end and it's like full on like, our hearts will save our times if we love each other. It's crazy.
Oh, gosh, yeah. And there's like a female singer and a man singer. It's really
It's
odd.
very 80s.
It's actually a very religious movie. Song.
Right.
It's about the end of the world coming, and then it's like you only judge by your creator. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
Right.
Only me.
Yeah. So I don't know what the story.
Wait, so he said this is Florida, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was post-apocalyptic Florida or just Florida because they're the same thing, right?
What are you insinuating?
I'm insinuating Florida's terrible.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because they fly over and they're like, hello, and the zombies come out. I'm like, it's just Florida. It's the apocalypse. Okay.
Yeah.
It's trashy, dirty, ugly, alligators.
Zombie alligators?
Nope, just regular.
How do you know? There might be.
Maybe.
I don't know.
The tongue, the opening shot with the mouth.
No jaw. That's Tom Savini. In that's like
no, that was mechanical.
It's on top of a person.
Oh yeah, it's on his shoulder. Yeah. It's not his head though.
Which apparently he took on like the Letterman show or something like that. I don't remember. I want to go find those clips. That stuff's great. Very iconic.
The newspaper that blows against the trash can and opens up. That's a great shot. That's really like they luck shot. Boom, do it, and then it landed right.
What I loved about that was the when all the zombies start coming out and they're in the helicopter and somebody goes, "Shh, listen." And I feel like that's probably the first instance I can think of in a movie or a thing where like the idea of so many zombies, the drone of it would be loud enough to be like
you can hear it over.
You'd have to cover your ears. It would be so loud.
Yeah.
Like in Walking Dead, that's become like a thing. Like you can hear from
the horde.
The horde, right? Because we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen a horde yet.
I think it's kind of funny at this point. They're narrowed down to like two types of people. Someone who runs at first sight.
Three types.
Okay, well, I'll say
4 types.
For me, there's 2. It's just
lots of types.
Lots of types. One person who just runs at the sight of like, oh, it's scary, run away. And then there's the person who goes like, they're just slow zombies.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's still that separation of someone who's scared shitless, and the character who's like, they're
Miguel.
Yeah, well, exactly. And then Sarah being like, yeah, I can stick around here for a minute.
Right.
They're not going to get to me. I like Day of the Dead a lot. I'm really in like with it.
Yeah, I am too. I am too.
Yeah, I have a note that just says Miguel sucks.
Miguel just sucks.
Yeah, he redeems himself.
He manned up. Like it's pretty hardcore. Yeah. So
anyways, underground
what do you think of we don't need to explain the movie.
Underground science facility, some doctor scientist people, and then military, and the military is like, fuck you guys, and the scientists are like,
but they have a point. They have a point. They keep losing guys by trying to get the live zombies for the research.
And then you have the crazy doctor, Dr. Frankenstein, or that's at least what they call him. I don't remember what his real name is.
Logan.
And he explains to him like, well, what else are you gonna do? I mean, the world's over. Where are you gonna go?
But he's crazy.
Right.
They find tapes of him like yelling at his mom that's not there and something like that.
But it brings back that idea of like not trusting the science people and putting your faith in some stupid thing. It's like, well, the world's gone.
See, I think to the point George Romero is saying both sides are stupid, right? Because that's like the pilot is right. Just move on with life, like.
But you get to Sarah and she's not crazy. She's just trying to take step by step. It's just that hers is a lost cause,
right?
But she's not crazy. She's not bad. She's the voice of reason in the middle.
But she even finds things like, I mean, I guess we don't really know because he dies not too long after, but like the idea that if you amputate the arm fast enough, you could save somebody from a bite. I guess we don't really ever see that play out, but that was gnarly too. What do you think about where George Romero starts taking the zombie at this point?
Well, if you want to talk about like the original script and stuff like that.
No. I just mean like in George Romero's mind, the zombies now are going to become more characters. They're not simply just a threat. They're the thing with this idea that like zombies are going to be like
remembering stuff from their lives, and because Bub picks up a gun and cocks it because he might have been in the military at some point.
But it's more than that. Like he shows affection for Dr. Frankenstein. He's like mad when he's dead. Like there's a clear There's a very clear arc here.
I don't even want to think about that stuff.
Well, you have to think about it because when we get to land, that's going to be like a big part of that movie.
But I go like, that's just Bub's special.
That's not true. That's not. We learned this is clearly the beginning of where George Romero's going, where like zombies become actual characters.
But we're not talking about land right now.
But that's where this is going.
So
he had this in his head. Okay. I just want you to tell me if you think this is stupid or not.
It is and it's not.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on whatever. I like it.
Okay. That's what
But you can make a different version.
I wasn't looking for an essay. I just wanted to know what you thought.
It works with Bub, and then you get to land, and it's a little less. But again, in land, it's only like one of them. It's the black guy in land. I don't know, the gas station zombie. The other ones just follow him, and he kind of tells them what to do. But they're really just followers. There's usually like one really smart one, or one that's the Bub, But we'll get to that. Can I just say the cave system? That's a real cave system.
Right.
And that place is crazy.
So, I mean, I don't know if he didn't really one-up the mall because nothing beats the mall, but...
At least to like a commoner who's like, I would go to a mall, but these actual...
It's another very distinct, interesting location.
Yeah, like these limestone caves or whatever. That's scary. Being underground is scary because, the power goes out. There's no light. I mean, you're going to be literally pitch black. That's fucking creepy.
Oof.
I don't want to be stuck in the... no.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awful.
I heard there's like underground lakes at this place or like pools of water, and it's pitch black, and if you're just walking, you'll just fall in one, and you turn around, which way is back? What? I'm lost. I
guess that'll be my bad dream for the week.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the male chauvinist bullshit reminds me of Quentin Hooper from Jaws.
Huh?
So I said he may be a scientist, but he's got scars too. Hooper. Like he had the balls to be a tough guy, whereas like Quint thought him to be some college-educated pussy.
Right.
He's not as tough, but he's not a pussy like what he expected. It would be nice to see less macho bullshit and some of the scientists be a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see
That's what I mean. They were both just such strong caricatures of themselves.
David, I think, is the guy's name.
Which one?
The guy with the goatee.
The communications guy?
No. The scientist.
Oh, yeah, I don't fucking know.
He's just I'm a scientist.
Fodder. Yeah.
I'm a nerd. And
right.
It's just like, okay, it'd be nice to see if someone stood up to Rhodes. Like Frankenstein stands to Rhodes, but he stood up to him because he's just like, I can talk circles around this guy.
Yeah.
I would like to stop seeing all the scientists just be nerdy scientists. I would like to see someone who's tough. Like I went out there and I caught some zombies myself. You know? Yeah, I don't know. That's just me.
It's a little much, but there's such great characters. What?
I think is it Steele? No, yeah, it's Rickles.
He's the worst.
I know he is. They leave the room and he fucking flips Bubba or flips and goes, "Fuck you!"
Yeah,
like,
the
window zombie,
which is it's actually some great directing. I do love that shot, but like. Man, I do have like a hard time listening and just be like, he's calling you a throwback, man, a caveman, because Neanderthals all got big dicks, like that whole fucking thing. It's funny to laugh at, but it's really like, just you could direct them a little bit, George. You could just be like, just tone it down a little bit.
I love how stupid they are.
It's a little much.
So we mentioned like how long.
Greg Nicotero is one of those soldiers.
You get a paycheck?
It's probably the guy that's like growing pot up on the thing.
I think it's interesting we talk about like how many years after this might be and what the situation is in the world. So Frankenstein mentions that early revivals, so meaning like, you died in a good state and came back not like chewed in half.
Right.
He said it could take up to a dozen years to have their mobility decayed away. So the idea that like a fresh zombie could walk around for 12 years or 12 to 15 years before maybe their like legs have rotted away and now they're crawling. But it makes it interesting, so it's sort of reasons to show that after 15 or 20 years, if you could just wait it out or find a place to live and, maybe exterminate the zombies in that area, grow some food, the world after a couple of decades, I mean, they'd be crawling, but they wouldn't be shambling in hordes. They would be like, their legs fell off, so you could just go around and stab one in the head, stab it in the head, stab it in the head.
Yeah.
It kind of goes to reason that after 20 years or so, the world might start to come back a bit.
That was the World War Z idea, especially up north. When it's cold, the zombies would freeze. They give them an opportunity to go out there and kill them before they start thawing or whatever.
And the idea of domesticating them is just no.
Yeah,
it's not gonna.
Well, he was crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it was working, but you can't do it on a grand scale.
Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do with that?
You do the Shaun of the Dead where they have them chained up pushing the shopping carts.
So in the,
I mean, you're still going to have to treat them as wild animals.
Did you read the original script?
No, but you told me about it.
I mean, in that one, it's it's like a whole platoon of zombies that they've trained, I guess. And
but don't they like a control?
That's right. They had like radio control,
like a joystick or something like that.
Like yeah. So that's weird.
Radio control zombies shooting guns for them.
There was a character in that like part of the resistance or whatever, and he had sewn like nitroglycerin like cylinders or whatever, like glass things into his skin, like underneath the skin. 'Cause I guess the idea is like, I don't know, like it'll keep it from like splashing around and then blow up or whatever. Is it nitroglycerin that if like you shake it around too much it'll explode? Yeah.
Why would what?
I don't fucking know. It's a good thing it didn't make it to the movie because it was weird, and I felt bad for the person because that sounded really painful.
Like he's a walking bomb, basically.
Kinda, yeah, basically. And then they take it out of his skin later so they can like blow things up.
Yeah. Execute Frankenstein when he finds out he's been chopping up the old the guys who die and feeding them to the bub. Miguel lets in all the zombies in a really cool way by letting the elevator lift come down full of zombies and sacrifices himself. Bub finds Frankenstein dead, and he's so sad. And you feel bad for his bub.
He's great.
Right.
It's the best zombie performance ever.
Howard Sherman, is that his name? The actor? I could look it up, but I'm not going to.
I didn't have it written down.
Yeah, he does a really good job of emoting as a zombie.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I actually heard in another podcast that if you watch that movie with subtitles, there's a lot of stuff that just sounds like it's grunts and groans from him, but he's actually saying things. It's not just the hello, Annalisa. Like, he's saying...
I will say that's wrong because I watch every movie with subtitles, and I don't think anything came up during those times.
Okay. Yeah, maybe they're full of shit then. There's stuff like, I guess...
They're full of shit.
Like when he takes the headphones off of him and he's like, I'm not finished. That's actually like what he's saying as opposed to just...
I'll go back, but I watch everything subtitles, and I didn't catch that.
Maybe it's more like closed captioning, or I don't know. Maybe there's some version of it.
Nope. Shovel kill. Cuts
it's a good zombie kill.
Head in half, and then the top half, the eyes are still moving afterwards. It makes you kind of go, oh shit! Even when you cut the head, like part of the head's still going. That feels bad. Like, his head is going to stuck there for eternity in that missile silo area.
That's
just
right.
Sitting there, looking back and forth. You know,
which you wouldn't feel bad about until you get to land, I guess.
Yeah. Rickles is not just annoying; he's kind of crazy because when he gets ripped up, he's
still just
laughing
his ass off,
yeah.
and then that high pitched like. He's like weird scream that goes.
Because they pull his
transforms
vocal,
into a.
Yeah, they rip his head off. So
I like that.
That's a good touch of thinking logic. Like, wow, that's kind of a cool touch too. We rip his head off, so it stretches his throat out, and as it does, his voice pitch goes higher and higher.
I looked at it as more of an artistic thing, but yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's science. I'm just saying it's a cool. It didn't just rip his head off. It kind of made it an interesting whole thing.
It might have been a thing, just like the jaw, like moving and stuff like that had like a thing quality to it.
Rhodes is obviously an asshole because he just abandons all his men and gets on a golf cart and tries to get away.
Yeah, I love his.
He locks the door behind him.
One of the best like downfall of a villain scenes ever. Just everything about it, from like getting shot like a couple times by Bub, and at some point he's just like kind of crawling along and the thing he's like he's like cradling his hands. He's so pathetic. I love that whole thing. What a great just payoff with the finally shooting him and then all the zombies on the other side of the thing and then the salute from Bub and then the choke
fucking one-liner.
Yeah, it's good shit. I buy every second of it. I love it.
And Steel
Steel got out too easy, I think. Like
But the look on his face of just like,
yeah,
that's fuck.
Yeah.
You know, I got what I got it. I didn't, I don't say I got what I deserve, but
I guess like the movie is telegraphing he's not as bad as Rhodes, because when Rhodes commands him to shoot Sarah, he's like thinks it's a joke. He's like, bang, you're dead, and then he's like, no, I'm gonna shoot you your ass if you don't shoot her, and he was gonna do it, but he at least had to think about it before he did.
But he has like a look of remorse on him, at least when he kills himself.
Yeah,
but fuck him. That's what he gets.
Yeah.
There's a fake out at the end of the movie, just like the beginning of the movie, where she jumps in the helicopter and there's a zombie inside and she screams and it's
just another bad dream.
And it cuts and she's on the beach and he's fishing over there and she's okay. So she this is me, of course. I notice these things. She's marking the days on a calendar of like how long they've been, or at least what day it is. Because she's been she wants to keep track of the world still and what day it is, what month it is, which actually is smart because you might want to know when winter's coming or, what time of the year it is because it might matter if you need to survive. But she's got a whole piece of paper. And I imagine she didn't bring much paper with her on that helicopter and marker and stuff. She uses a whole piece of paper to write the month of November or whatever it is. I'm thinking she probably doesn't have a lot of paper. I'd probably write November really small and then maybe December really small and try to conserve my paper, not use a whole fucking page for 1 month.
Just like Dark Tower, like this paper.
No one's seen paper for a while.
Yeah. And that's another thing, the Dark Tower movie, right? Also, that there's just paper. They didn't fucking make a thing out of it.
Land of the Dead.
Land of the Dead.
Oh wait, so Day of the Dead. It's really good.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really great. It's good.
It's the third best of the first three, but
well,
yeah, you. We'll do our rankings at the end.
I like day more than night. I like dawn more than night.
That's fair.
It's different. So Land, I have not watched this in quite a while.
I don't think I've seen it since. I think I saw it in the theaters. I thought I probably saw it one more time after that, and this is my third viewing. Yeah. Land of the Dead is the best Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, it's better than I remembered.
Yeah, I enjoyed it way more this time than I did. I don't know what expectations I had for it the first time I watched it, but they clearly weren't met in some degree. But this time it just kind of like, I don't know, accepted it for what it was and enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me get my notes.
Starts kind of with, we mentioned Bub, like Bub being like the whole basis for what this movie is. It starts with a zombie band sitting there trying to play their instruments. And then the gas station guy is he hears the cling cling of like a zombie steps over the line and he comes out to pump gas and there's no car there. So you already start to see them kind of trying to relive the lives they had, which goes all the way back to Dawn of the Dead when Peter mentions they're coming to the mall because it's something that used to be important in their lives. It's just interesting how certain things, I know he didn't plan for this all the way from Dawn, but the threads exist. I want to say there's probably something Night of Zombie doing something that, was something from its life before it was a zombie that kind of this thread goes through, but whatever, we're here now. Zombies have feelings.
Yeah, and I'm into it, whatever. And it goes into the social commentary of, like, again, super overt social commentary in this is Bush era.
Yeah, this is 05.
Social commentary. We don't negotiate with terrorists. John Leguizamo's going to do a jihad on his ass. So things right off the bat, I like John Leguizamo. You just put him in movies, I'm probably going to enjoy it.
My note says, I love John Leguizamo.
There you go.
I actually have a stupid love-hate relationship with the movie The Pest.
Yeah, there you go.
Because we used to rent that movie from Blockbuster. If you don't know what a Blockbuster is, no. We used to watch The Pest all the time, and that's stupid kid stuff. But yeah, he's great.
There's a lot of characters in the movie. There's more characters in this movie than there has been in any of his other movies to date. Also, Dario Argento's daughter. Asia Argento, yeah.
Which I wonder if that was some kind of...
I think he's dating that No Reservations guy, like the food guy. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
Anthony
the tall,
Bourdain?
Yeah, that guy. And fuck him because he tweeted out, fuck Baby Driver. No, what did he say? Baby Driver. No, he said fuck Baby Driver. That was his tweet. It wasn't fuck, Baby Driver, like, fuck, Baby Driver's good. It was just like, he was like, fuck Baby Driver. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
The way you said that made me think of that line from The Martian when he's like, Vincent's like, you think he means, like,
yeah,
are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Anthony Bourdain inexplicably, fuck Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Great job. That's what the headline says.
That was a random tangent.
I'm going to look at that later.
Land of the Dead is the highest budget that he's ever had. Wikipedia says somewhere between 15 and 20 million. Doesn't know what the exact number would be. But as a point of reference or comparison, the Day of the Dead remake, which we'll eventually talk about, is 18 million.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
I didn't know so much, but I can believe it.
Just the difference between one person who's been stretching a budget and knows how to work on a low budget, like,
that's pretty
career.
Pretty amazing.
Like, I'm not saying Land of the Dead is some, like, high budget looking movie, but
claustrophobic versus big.
Right. But, like, it feels there wasn't really a whole lot of stuff I watched where I went like, ooh, you can really feel the budget here. Like,
right.
It seemed like it accomplished everything it was trying to do.
Yeah.
Some of the CGI, I guess, like, which is a bummer. We are getting to a point now where we're just going to do, like, the computer-generated squibs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
I remember there like a MPAA thing where they had to cut frames out of one of them, like this, I think the one that was swinging or the blood.
Yeah.
So the CGI already being kind of like not the best. It was cut short so the effects didn't even get to play out sometimes.
Right. But still some great practical effects. Like, right off the bat, the shooting up the fireworks or the zombies just in the town that's about to get, like, fucked up. And there's this one zombie that's just full prosthetic, like just total robotic.
Oh, yeah.
Really thin, very, like, alien looking. I love that zombie.
Yeah.
And the fireworks exploding in the air, and she's kind of with her eyes all glassy, like getting all wide.
What do they call them?
Sky flowers, which is like, what's his name? Charlie. No, not Charlie. Charlie's the... Oh, no, yeah, Charlie. Charlie's the guy with the messed up face. He's just, look at my face. You can tell that I've had nightmares. And he calls them Skyflowers. I'm like, oh, he calls them Skyflowers because he's kind of a Forrest Gump kind of style character. But then, like, they're all calling him Skyflowers. I'm like, everybody knows they're fireworks, right? Like, why are we calling them Skyflowers? That's fine. I guess it's just cute. So we got Dead Reckoning, the multi-million-dollar all-terrain tank bus train vehicle thing. That's pretty cool.
Was supposed to be the original title of the movie. Was just Dead Reckoning.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's stuck with the of the dead. Okay, that's what we're doing. Come on.
There's a shot early on of a machine gun that decapitates a zombie while the other zombie is holding the head. You know what I'm talking about? So he's holding the head and the body falls. And so he, out of pity, he smashes the other zombie's head.
He mercy kills his zombies buddies. Yeah, he mercy kills his zombie buddy.
So there's some definite emotion. The zombies love each other.
Yeah, this
zombie
guy.
Love. Do you support zombie marriage?
Yeah. They do. At the end, it's like, no, they're just trying to find their way, just like all of us.
Yeah. It's a good practical effect and a good story beat. The alcohol store they go to, the liquor store, whatever the hell it was like untouched. It had all that liquor.
Right.
I find that hard to believe after years. That's the first place everyone's going to go. Fucking free liquor, you know?
Right.
Not me, but other people. Straight edge.
Yeah. I don't know. I like all the characters in this movie. There's some of the ones that you start getting introduced that are like sub characters that I'm kind of like, too little too late, Land of the Dead. I'm not going to care too much about this person.
Plot-wise, rich assholes live in a tower. All the poor people live on the street. Money is still a thing for some reason that people still...
I think that's the point, right? Like
but I'm just saying
the
the
commentary.
Idea, it always drives me crazy, and there's always like people who like money. Like money doesn't... Beans matter.
Right.
Cans of beans matter, Water matters. Who cares a shit about money? Here's a story from our lives. Oh, wait, not you. I didn't mean that in a mean way, but I literally just remember you weren't there. So Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright, now that we're talking about Baby Driver, they're in the movie as zombies. They're chained up as part of an attraction where you stand and take a picture and they try to bite you. When Shaun of the Dead came out, we, not you, went to a DVD signing 2 days in a row, 2 different signings, and, we met Edgar Wright for the first time. We subsequently have seen him multiple times since then. Same with Simon Pegg. And they showed us pictures, and this is well before Land of the Dead came out. They showed us pictures of themselves as zombies on his cell phone as like a total treat. Like we were talking like, oh, Romero, we love that shit. He's like, oh, check this out. Boom. I'm like, he's like, you can't tell anybody you saw this, but we'll show it to you. I was like, that's fucking cool. And then when you see the movie finally, you're like, oh shit, I knew he was, haha.
Yeah.
The funny part of that story is the third day when we went to go, I convinced you to go out to Westwood. It was raining. We drove all the way out there, and then we got there, and they were like, sorry, we had to cancel. And you never got to see them that time.
Want.
Yeah, I want to find that picture.
Yeah. Sad face.
I knew it was Wesker. Talk about good Resident Evil. The guy who gets bitten in the liquor store, who then not... So who's the main character?
His name is Riley.
Right. Oh, yeah. Riley and Charlie. Riley has to kill him. Oh, no, he kills himself. Don, like, whatever.
He's like the new recruit.
Yeah, it's Wesker. I thought it was Wesker.
Is it really?
It's fucking Wesker. It's Albert Wesker. I'm like, okay, so he's in another zombie movie. Here's the funny thing. He's also in another one of these movies. He's in Diary.
Okay.
Or Survival. Diary. He's in Diary. But obviously not as the same character because he dies in this one.
Right.
Kills himself. I just funny. I was like, that guy looks really like a young Wesker. Holy shit, it's totally fucking Wesker.
So I call it a Resident Evil movie.
Wesker in Resident Evil movies.
Right. I call this one a Resident Evil movie because it's also the first time that he's like...
Ow! Why am I yelling too? I'm like all uppity.
I'm not saying like Night, Dawn, and Day are like the most realistic movies ever, but there's at least some semblance of like, this might be what goes down like at the end of the world. Where this is like, come on. There wouldn't be a fucking tower where people like live. There wouldn't be like a tower, a battle tank.
So a tower with a CEO and a board of directors.
Right.
And let's not forget, Jean-Luc Leguizamo's name in this movie is Cholo.
It's
on the nose.
It's a little on the nose. What do they call like the big Samoan guy? I feel like he had a name like that too.
You're like Doughboy.
We're here to do something, so let's do something.
I think they call him Doughboy.
They gave him
Sorry, Doughboy is Ice Cube's character from NW or
get it right.
Boys in the Hood.
Right.
But I felt like they call him like Pillsbury Doughboy or something like that.
I don't remember.
Anyways, I go back to the shooting of the weapons. You mentioned like the soldiering. I said, with all the years of soldiering and practice shooting and killing all these zombies, everyone's still burst firing and full auto shooting and not aiming for the head.
Right.
I know it's a movie.
Except Charlie.
Yeah, he's a good shot.
I don't need that many bullets.
Can God, we gotta go fast on these because there's just too many.
No, that's okay. I don't have too much to say about this movie. It's fun.
Cholo takes dead reckoning. Zombies get in due to ineptitude. Someone always fucks up and does something. You'd think you would be more not practical, but you'd be looking over your shoulder more often, especially when you're in the dark. Again, I know it's a movie.
Like the kid with the headphones.
Yeah,
the skateboard.
This is just It kind of sucks because
there's some scenes like that kind of don't need to be there. I mean, it's weird. Like he's still just kind of. I didn't really ever feel like he was trying to make scary movies before, and then like there's scenes in here where he's like trying to be like a scary movie, like tone and dark and like tension and here he is,
The gas station zombie learns how to shoot a gun.
That's right.
So now zombies can shoot guns. Greg Nicotero gets his eye eaten. I'm pretty sure it was Greg. It looked like him, and he gets his eyeball pulled out.
I didn't spot Nick. I spot Savini. Yeah, for sure.
The police outfits look very much like the SS. So we have this whole Bush era, war in Iraq, Republicans, Democrats time period is very, well, wait, sorry, not now, back then. But they deliberately have the police dress up like the brown shirts.
Right.
I mean, those aren't police uniforms you ever saw before the apocalypse. Those are uniforms that were made post-apocalypse. So yeah, very, very interesting take. Like you said, I like the line when he goes, "Zombies, man,
they freak me out."
No, they creep me out.
Creep me out. Yeah. It's like one of Dennis Hopper's not last movies, but kind of last like notable movies, I guess, before he died.
I mean, this is 2005. I don't know when it.
Yeah, he didn't. He only died a few years ago. I can't think of anything else he's been in since then.
One of the best lines in the movie was, she's like, "Oh, stealing the car," and she's like, "I'm from Detroit. It was 50,000 cars a year or whatever it is."
Yeah.
He goes, "In Samoa, 50,000 cars stolen a year.
Yeah.
There are only 50,000 cars in Samoa. All of them stolen."
All stolen. Yeah, that is a good line.
We mentioned the guy that was in Diary ends up survival. He's also in Land of the Dead as a soldier, but he dies. So, like, this actor played a soldier in 3 movies in a row with Romero, even though the first one is not the same character as the other 2.
Yeah.
But he played the same role every time. It's just really weird how that happens.
Earn your stripes. You get a bigger role next time around.
Zombies cross the river. They learn to walk along the bottom and come out. Again, packing up the money from the vault like it matters, but that probably leads you to one of the best scenes in the movie, which I think you like a whole lot or laughed at when the guy's like, "What's in those bags?" And it's all the money.
Oh, he's like, "Quick, look over there!" Yeah,
and then
I really like that.
He's like, "Get down!" And then he just fucking shoots him in the back of the head.
Yeah,
Dennis Hopper's character is a piece of shit. But also, fuck those rich people. They're all idiots.
Yeah, you don't feel that. There's nothing but a bunch of catharsis there when the zombies break in.
And you want to talk about how on the nose it is, like when he close-up shot of the zombie ripping the belly ring out of that one girl, like the vanity,
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's such a overt metaphor, like there's just no subtlety to it at all. But there's still a lot of power to it. You do think about God, how can anybody live like that? Like when just you think about the world, when you just think about the fucking awful shit that other people are going through, how can you live like that? It doesn't have to be just zombies.
Guy falls on his own grenade at one point.
Or he gets his hand chopped off by the butcher zombie, and then all that stuff's good. I enjoy the whole zombie assault, I guess, on the compound.
It basically shows that your defenses really didn't work at all. If the zombies wanted to come in there, you just always kind of got away with, well, they were too dumb to come this way.
It's like a total random, 2 lesbians making out and about to get down, and they're the first people to get attacked by the zombies when they start getting into the thing. It's a little weird, very Friday the 13th-esque, I guess. I'm not sure what's going on there.
You had to mention earlier, Tom Savini shows up as Machete.
Yeah.
From Dawn of the Dead as
callback.
A zombie. Yeah, big callback. Cuts a guy in half with a machete, basically.
Yeah, he's uber fucking souped up zombie.
Yeah, he's tough looking zombie. Yeah. They split a hand down the middle Bone
That's
Tomahawk
right,
style.
A silhouette. It's a silhouette of it. Yeah. A wishbone.
And whenever I think about that, I always just think about that scene from Bone Tomahawk from now on.
Just, God.
They call them stenches in this one.
That's true.
That's the name. And
stenches and skyflowers.
I feel like I heard the term walker in one of them, and I thought that was really funny. I was telling my wife about that. I'm like, oh, look at that. They call them walkers in this thing before.
Yeah.
But maybe it wasn't this one. I like the driver, Dennis Hopper's driver. First time trouble's like, I'm out of here, Mr. Hopper. Total, what?
Driving Miss Daisy.
Bamboozled, kind of want me shiny shit. It was just sort of the fact that he's like, fuck you, white man.
Obvious.
You get what you deserve, and I like that. He said, fuck you, Dennis Hopper. Gas in the car blows up. Cholo comes back. Is he a zombie? Or does he turn into a zombie after?
The process of turning into a zombie as he's getting shot or whatever.
Yeah.
I liked his spear gun. There's all those little spears sticking out of his. It's kind of an interesting like aesthetic, I guess. I think it works.
It's like the crossbow before there was a crossbow.
Right.
The zombie with no legs hanging on the back of the truck.
Yeah, for no other reason than just so like fucking Doughboy gets like one little more moment. Like,
yeah, because you think someone's gonna die inside the truck, and he just tosses the fucking body out.
Yeah, just a fun little thing. I feel like the ending where they're like driving off in Dead Reckoning with the sky flowers going off kind of reminded me of Mad Max, like when the hunting party, like they're shooting like they're not fireworks, they're shooting like the smoke, like colored smoke bomb things, like up in the air. I don't know. It's very like evocative imagery. Not that like he watched that, but it's like, oh, interesting. They kind of did this first.
I don't know. Yeah, they end up saving everybody, even though they thought everyone was dead. Okay, if you had your pick,
some people did die.
A bunch of people dead, but they thought like everyone was dead. But it turns out like all the resistance is now alive, and if you had your choice of being stuck in a crowd of people and a crowd of zombies was coming at you, and there was really nowhere, something I can climb. I can climb something. You know, I don't know. Here, give me a boost. I'll climb up on this concrete pole. If you had the choice of getting eaten with really no, unless maybe you could run as they're eating everyone else, maybe you could run through them or something, getting eaten by all these zombies coming, or take your hand at the maze of electrical wire, which would you choose?
I guess I'd go with the wire, but that sounds pretty awful too.
Yeah. But, I mean...
Because I wouldn't be, like, instantaneous. I'd be probably
I'm sorry. Is getting eaten instantaneous?
Yeah, no, that's clearly worse. I'm just saying that neither one of them's a picnic.
So I probably would at least try to, like, you know, get my way through the high-voltage wire and get away.
There's no one even big, tall buildings. It's still, like, Well, I don't know if it's Pittsburgh. Is it supposed to be Pittsburgh? Or is it just, like, a nondescript city?
I think it's like the Pacific Northwest.
No, I thought they were...
It's near Canada.
You don't think they're still in Pennsylvania?
They talk about going to Ohio or something like that?
All the movies have taken... Oh, that's not true. I was about to say all the movies taken place Pennsylvania. Day of the Dead was in Florida. Okay.
They talk about Chicago. There's like an outpost in Chicago. So yeah, maybe they are near... I don't pay attention.
Anyway, there was like... It seemed like there's these big buildings. Like,
it was filmed in Canada. That's all I know.
Yeah. You could just like go up some stairs. Get away.
So land is... Yeah, it's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, land's good. Still fourth best, but...
when we saw it, it was one of those things where the return to form.
Right.
Romero's back with his zombie movie, and you're like, this is it?
Yeah, but you should have gone in more like, oh, this is fun. You know? I would accept more movies like this at this point in time, you know?
I mean, this was also, you know, I don't know what else was around that time was coming out, but...
Well, Dawn of the Dead had come out.
The Dawn remake had come out the year before this, so...
And you're kind of like, show him, George.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay. So he did kind of show him, though, I think, you know?
Yeah. That's Land of the Dead, everybody.
Yeah.
So that goes into the movie you hate the most.
I'm going to go ahead and just let you talk about Diary of the Dead, because I tried, and I remember going to see this in theaters and, like, falling asleep.
I was going to say, I remember seeing this in a movie theater, and it was me and you, and then there was, like, a group of 3 other teenagers. No, we weren't teenagers, but nobody was there. It was practically empty, and we had to drive somewhere far, not far, but nowhere near us to see it. Okay. I get why you don't like this movie.
Yeah, I'm not even going to like talk shit. I don't like this movie, so go ahead.
Why don't you like this movie?
Because it's a found footage film by somebody that profoundly does not, and I love George, that profoundly doesn't understand how to make that kind of a movie. He's trying to like, okay, I won't even fuck with the found footage. This is also the first time that he's done a movie where it's young people. It's like a horror movie with like young white teenagers, essentially.
Get to your point.
That's it. I don't need it to. That's my point.
So you don't like found footage?
No, I like found footage. I like found footage very much. I just watched a found footage movie about Bigfoot that kind of was very scary. But it's not a found footage movie. He's still treating the camera like a regular camera because he's a director. The
kid who all these valid points, but also
he spends like 10 minutes because it's a found footage thing. He feels like he has to have a scene where each character he has to like, here, tell me who you are on the camera. But again, and like 10 straight minutes of the character. It feels like a million years where each character is, well, I'm this person and this is what I'm going to do. Like lazy,
but literally
character exposition.
I'll say the main character, the main cameraman of the movie is shooting a documentary or shooting like a horror movie.
On paper, I get it. On paper, it makes sense.
But it's not just a kid with a camera. It's literally a kid who wants to be like a director.
Yeah.
So he treats this whole thing like a documentary about...
But the problem is that everybody else still feels like actors. Like it's just...
Except maybe the teacher. The teacher's a little bit... I'm an art teacher. I film. Like, I'm a drunk.
To me, it didn't feel like a found footage movie at all. It felt like an affectation, like the worst kind of like you just did this because you wanted the found footage gimmick, but it didn't even feel like a found footage movie anyway.
You're wrong.
That's if you say so.
Okay, so I'll say this: the characters are annoying as shit, but they're supposed to be.
I don't think they're annoying. I think they're boring.
Well, I think they're bad because I think that they're stupid. Young college,
But I think it's also that George Romero doesn't understand those people. Like there's one semblance of it still like there in Survival with the one teenage kid. I'm like, why is he in this movie? And he's like, George is old at this point, and it's just he's just, and it's not even that like, oh, he used to be in touch with the youth, because like if you really think about it, the last time in the movies you had youths, it was the two kids in Night of the Living Dead, like the ones that blow up
the lovers.
Truck. Yeah. For the most part, these movies have been adults. They're adults dealing with this situation. And
but doesn't
he's never made movies like that. Think of all of his other films. None of them are like.
But doesn't he have a kid?
Whether he has kids or not.
But I mean, like, whatever. Fuck you. Okay, you're wrong.
Fine. I told you if you want me to. I said
you shut your mouth.
Okay, fine. I'll shut up. I don't want to shit on it. You like this movie? Go ahead.
I don't like this movie. Sorry, I like this movie. That's about all I can say for it. Is I like it. Look at the characters are kind of annoying, and they make choices that are. I'll just say they make choices, but I feel like what it's doing, it's in a weird like existential way, is that I don't like the characters because I'm not supposed to like the characters. Not like a Rhodes and a Steele, like, oh, they're so mean, angry, military guys. They're just dumb kids in college who want to be film majors, and they're little douchey children, kids, and they are wussies and wiener boys, and one of them wants to be an actress, and the other guy is like, my daddy's rich. I don't like any of them because I'm not supposed to like any of them. But it feels legit. That's what's the weird thing is it feels legit, so it's okay not to like them because it is the movie. Also, the idea of it's not found footage that he was going for. He was going for the idea of everybody filming everything but not participating in it. So like someone's getting killed right now. Instead of helping them, I'm going to film it. He was, so far ahead of his time. He predicted this shit and got it so right. Again, you don't seem to like it, but I see what he was going for because he's talked about it in interviews. He hit this on the nose pretty much before it became really mainstream. This is 2007. So I don't know when in 2007 it came out, but they either shot it in like late 2006 or early 2007. YouTube launched in 2005 and wasn't acquired by Google until like literally the very end, like I think October 2006. His whole thing was about internet video and likes and subscribers and how many hits I'm getting. Look at our fucking society today. That's literally all it is. Instagram and shit like that. Oh, how many likes did I get? How many thumbs up did I get? This is like 10 years ago. He predicted all that shit. It was in the infancy when he did it, but his idea was it's just going to get worse. That's all people are going to do is live through the lens. They're not going to. Your girlfriend's getting bit by a zombie. Put the fucking camera down, right? That's the story you hear all the time today. Why was someone filming this? Why didn't they do something, right? You might not like the movie, but I think, again, when he first started out making the movies, he didn't really think of the societal impact. Like, the mall in Dawn is one thing. But like you said, it was just written around the fact that my friend had a mall that let me shoot in it.
Yeah, but that wasn't an accident. He definitely, consumerism was definitely a part of what he was doing.
But it wasn't as hard. I think, as he got Land of the Dead and the Bush era and things like that, it became much more, obvious or apparent. I think Diary, yes, he flat out, while he shot this thing, said, I'm literally thinking about people on the internet, kids filming, changing the perception. He also mentioned things like, when there's too many voices in the news now, being like that, the people on the internet had a voice as well for news. When it becomes too overwhelming, there's too many, none of them you can rely on anymore. Hello? Like modern society. The idea that there's too much fucking noise, so they all cancel each other out, so even the good news doesn't get through anymore because all the fake news comes in. He's smarter.
These are interesting ideas, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
It's a good movie.
It's not a good movie. It's not a good movie, but it's fine. I understand what you're saying. I understand where you like it.
What was the budget?
George,
like $3 million, $4 million.
Actually, I probably wrote it down. Hold on.
I heard he was the last one he was trying to make. He only needed like $3 million. I mean, he did not get much money for this. It doesn't.
No,
look
it's
like
definitely less money. It's for real less money than Land. Land was definitely like the highest by far.
More than like 4 or 5.
I did not write it down. My problem isn't the ideas that you're talking about, like the things that he had in his mind when he was doing it. Like I said, good intentions. It's just that George Romero, the kind of a filmmaker he is, he makes movies like with movie moments and movie lines, things that people don't say in real life. Like, but they're fun. They're good scripts and they're good lines to like say later. And
there's an Amish character.
Naturalism is not his strong suit. It's never been. It's never been like what's a part of what makes his movies special.
$2 million budget for $2 million.
I get it.
I can see how this happened or why it was like this.
I just don't think this. I would be much more interested. I would have been much more interested in this movie. It wasn't him feeling like he needed to make a found footage movie. It restrains everything about what he... God, when you watch Survival and just like the first 30 seconds, you're like, it's like breathing.
It's a movie again.
Because it's like, oh God, he can do things with the camera again. He can like do blocking.
But
he can do,
it's a fun experiment. He did something.
I get it.
I think it resonated. I think it made sense.
No, I'm not hating. I'm not, there's nothing to get angry about. I'm just saying it doesn't work.
I didn't care for like the security footage they would like download and then, when they're cutting the movie together and they were like finding different angles and stuff. Like, oh, he filmed with his phone. But I don't know. It's interesting. I didn't even think like the annoying character,
which one?
Ridley, I want to say it was like the mummy costume. He's like, Mom and Dad are out back with the staff. They're dead in the pool.
Yeah.
It's a road trip in a Winnebago. He has a crossbow. He has a bow and arrow in this one. Like literally.
I just think I don't know. Dawn of the Dead had come out already. We've seen like 28 days later and stuff like that. And he now wants to make a serious zombie movie. And it's I just don't think that's his strong suit. It's not what he still can't even help himself. There still has to be like an Amish guy that writes things like they can't talk and that throws dynamite. Those are the things that feel the most Romero.
I know, but you were going to say, like, it's missing. Like, it has an Amish mute who throws dynamite.
And I love that part. That's, like, one of my favorite parts of the movie.
He gets grabbed by a zombie from behind and gets bit, so he goes, oh, no, I'm going to die. So he takes his scythe
and
stabs his own head to kill the zombie behind him.
That's what I think of when I think of Romero stuff at this point.
I can imagine a regular person watching this is, like, taking this serious movie, and then you get to the Amish guy, and they're like, what the fuck is this? But we're going, this is great. And they're going, this is too silly.
Because it's a mismatch of tone.
Right.
Like, because the other stuff goes way too serious.
But I think the other stuff is what a regular audience member would watch and get out of it. I'm going to show it to people, and they're going to be like, this is okay. I'm going to be like, yeah, I know it's okay. It's not great,
Good luck with that. I don't think that'll happen, but...
Also, Wesker's in this movie.
Yeah.
Wesker's
this is where people can really sound off in the comments here, because this is going to be the only point of contention between you and I. So you could make yourself heard in the comments.
I also don't know why they had to like live in the safe room at the end, because they could have, actually, again, boarded up that house. That house is a nice, big, fancy house. Why you want to live in a safe room? You could have protected the house.
The other problem with this one is there's no situation. There's no like, every movie has like, when we get to the next one, even though I think Survival's okay, but Survival's still like an interesting thing of like, what about this island with like the Hatfields and McCoys? Like that's still like an interesting, weird corner of the zombie world to explore. This was just like, let's see what happens to these white kids in the zombie apocalypse. Great. And I love for the umpteenth millionth time.
Right. But then I like
fantastic
when the black guy comes in and they're like, where you got all these guns, and he's like, I was National Guard. But it's him and then the entire community. They're all black, and he's like, this is what it's like to have power back again. He's like, you just didn't realize that it was taken away from us. Here's a chance to have our own community. And again, with society issues, they banded together and they're like, we're in power now. I'm like, I appreciate that. I like that.
Sounds like you have a couple of more rewatches of Diary left you in your life. I'm just saying that was the last time for me.
Look I even have a note that says college art douches and idiots. But I mean, again, I appreciate it for what it is.
How about oh no, I can't even remember. Was that in Survival where somebody does the paddles, like the electric paddles, and then like does the head and the eyes explode?
Yeah, it's Survival. Survival's a little silly. Again, it introduces that one, the military character who steals other shit,
right?
Who becomes the main character of Survival. That I always yearn for the character that's cool and collected and doesn't give two shits about killing the dead, but who isn't a crazy fuck getting off by it when doing it. Because in these movies, it's always like the person who just goes up, shoots him in the head. It's always like, oh yeah, he's getting fucking horny by doing it. Like, no. Just where's the regular person who survives through it all? Just be like, it's not that hard. They're slow. Just shoot them and then walk away.
That's Barbara and Remake,
right? Yeah. And I said someone like me,
someone like you,
a realist,
douchey college kid.
This is the fastest end of the world because I think it's within like the first hour. This is like right when it happens. This isn't like years later. And then when the first hour, everything's fucking deserted. They go back to their college dorms. The guy's looting the TV.
Yeah, that was like a funny like. Hey, security! This guy, or you're here to see the naked ladies or something, like the locker room, or I don't know.
Because they're in the woman's dorm.
Yeah,
girlfriend.
yeah.
He's like, I'm just stealing shit.
That guy was fucking funny.
See, you love this movie.
I wish if it was more funny like that the whole way through, I'd have a better time. But instead, it's like the dead, something quiet, the dead. We're the Walking Dead diary.
It's just because
when
the characters
learned the camera and watching, and we. Yes, that's like in a nutshell what Diary is for me.
Because that's the main characters. They're idiots.
Yeah.
Romero is in this movie as the police chief. I really like the beginning intro when there's a guy who killed his wife and kid and then killed himself, and then they're wheeling the bodies out, and all of a sudden it starts moving on the stretcher, and the ambulance crew's like, wait, what? Is vital signs, and he bites them, and then it all starts. It's just great, kind of how it all begins. Yeah. Anyways.
Word. Agree to disagree.
This goes back to the thing of like how long does the news stay on? Because there's a point that they do like a newscast and it's like, oh, it's not that bad. This is happening over here. It's all getting cleared up. Like, who are they trying to lie to? Like, Isn't the world fucking gone by? Like, it seems like everything has gone to shit, but they're trying to like reaffirm people. Like, no, everything's fine. Don't worry. I can look outside and there's a car on fire. It was a little weird. And then of course MySpace. They had MySpace. 70,000 hits in an hour.
What's MySpace?
Yeah, seriously. What is MySpace?
Getting old.
Justin Timberlake owns MySpace, I think.
Oh, good for him.
Or something like that. 70,000 hits in a couple of minutes, which is like, that's not a big deal.
No.
But then again, I would like to have
But for as many people, like how many people actually have computers or phones?
Yeah.
From that situation.
Yeah, there's internet. I'm like, how many people still have internet when there's no gas and water, but there's still internet?
That reminded me. So the teenage kid in Survival who's like makes fun of his laptop. He's like, look at your Stone Age technology, your stupid laptop. This is what you want to use. His cell phone. It's just so funny. Like people still have fucking laptops. Nobody's ever said that. Like,
she mentions, she's like, I found this person on a message board on YouTube. I'm like, did YouTube have message boards?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. I think there's a really one good scene when they go home, the girl's house, and she's like, my mom and dad came back from camping with my brother, and they find the car in the garage with like a smashed window and blood, and Wesker has to, I'm just going to call him Wesker, he has to talk her down from being hysterical. He's like, look, we're just going in the house. You have a doll. What's the doll's name? Deb? Okay, Deb. Or I don't know what the doll's name was. Her name is Deb. He's like, we're just looking for a doll. We're not looking for your family. We're just going to go in there. We're going to look for the doll. I thought it was one of those. That's the guy's girl. Again, it shows like the guy making the film, the documentary. It's like, dude, this is your girlfriend. You should be comforting her, but you're too concerned with making your documentary that your friend's just swooping in and like taking care of her the way you should be. But I thought it was a really touching scene. I thought he did a really good job of, and then they have to crossbow the kid in the head to the wall. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they find a camera with video of like troops in what are they called? Like the chemical suits.
Yeah, everybody knows what you mean.
The big ones, the ventilator.
Hazmat suits.
Hazmat suits, yeah. I'm thinking more of the ones they gave to the soldiers, but it's like Impar or Mopar suits.
Got me.
The chemical agent suits. Anyways, they go in there and the guy gets bit and they shoot a zombie. So one of the guys shoots a zombie point blank with a gun and then sees another zombie and then moves his gun to shoot that one, and his gun is inside the zombie's head that he just blew open, and he shoots through that zombie's head to shoot another zombie in the head. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, that's the kind of stuff that you wanted more of.
Yeah.
Elliot taking a bath. He tries to eat him. They get electrocuted together, but I guess electrocution doesn't kill you. It doesn't get rid of zombies, I guess, because they both come back again.
This is also just a really dark movie. Like, just really lit, really dark.
Yeah. There's a good, not joke, but the beginning of the movie opens with the damsel in distress. They're filming them.
I know, and then later it actually recreates itself and her tits come out.
Yeah, I'm not going to let my tits get, my shirt get ripped off, and then later her shirt gets ripped and her tits come out. It's good. Also, she steals a fucking Winnebago. Where is she going? Like, why would she... fuck you guys. I'm going to steal this Winnebago, even though I just travel with you and I care for you. But, fuck you guys. You're just going to be fine. I'm just going to drive where? They're in the middle of nowhere at this point. It's probably the safest place they could be. Whatever. They have Nintendo in there, he says. Also, the end when the main kid gets bit, so now that his girlfriend has to finish the movie for him, he says, shoot me. I thought he meant with the camera. I thought he wanted
double meaning,
right? But I thought, for some reason, in my mind, I thought I remember this being that she films him as he turns and then kills him. But no, they just shoot him in the head. So, Diary of the Dead, it's okay. It's you know what? It's worth watching to see an experiment of filmmaking.
Oh, you have to watch it if you're going to make your way through the Romero movies.
Right.
I'm just saying you don't ever need to see it more than once.
Well, you're also a jerk.
Oh.
Next movie, Survival of the Dead, 2009.
Hey, this movie's better than Diary of the Dead.
This has got Wyndham Earle from Twin Peaks in it.
Literally watching Diary of the Dead, and then just like the first 30 seconds of Survival, I was like, it's like taking a breath. Oh, look, there's like lighting, and like there's a camera, and it's like a real movie. Oh, it feels so good.
It's a movie, but you know what?
It's aight.
There's not much worth talking about.
It's a fun concept, and I think it's worth watching. It's a good Sunday afternoon watch. I enjoy the guy's Irish accent.
The effects are bad. Special effects.
Some of the effects are really bad.
But they're pretty funny when you see a zombie's head CGI gets blown off, and then the top of the head lands like on the neck part.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like full-on cartoon zombie stuff in this one.
Fire extinguisher in his mouth, and then sprays.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It blows out the ears and the eyes.
Right.
And like you said, the electrocute him with the defibrillator, and the eyes pop out of the head.
It's funny. I have a note here that says, "Oh God, Diary's back. Can we please forget this?"
It pretty much opens up with like.
So this is the first movie where like characters continue from one movie to the next.
Yeah, but only one.
It's just this one.
They said this is 6 days after the Dead start, so you can literally say Diary took place in less than a week.
Yeah, but then it like jumps forward in time.
Yeah.
So the Plum Island, I guess what they call it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and give him credit again. Like it's not probably as iconic or as memorable as like Underground Bunker or the Mall, but like beautiful shot, but beautiful location.
Yeah.
I assume they actually had an island they were shooting on. It kind of looks like it.
They at least had a beach of some sort.
Right. Even if I wasn't as interested in what was going on, I was always interested in the surroundings. It was like it was an interesting place to see a zombie action take place. I hadn't seen anything like that before.
Not much action.
No, I don't mean like. I just mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The shit that's happening.
Let's get through this one quick because.
We gotta spend fucking 15 minutes talking about Diary of the Dead. We're not gonna talk about the movie that's actually better than it.
It is, but again, there's very little plot.
I actually don't have hardly any notes for this.
Yeah, it just goes. It's good to watch. It's got a good action.
Hatfields and McCoys was a interesting. It was an interesting thing. I think it could have done more with it. It got kind of lost in the shuffle, I think.
Yeah.
And also kind of a weird thing for people to fight over. Just like I think everybody's on the side of just like, no, you can fucking kill him.
Yeah, one family wants to maybe find a cure or keep the dead alive.
It's just like kind of a religious thing, but it's not played up enough as like a religious thing. It's just kind of more like tradition. I think I don't know if I texted you this, but I had a note that says this is the whitest movie he's ever made. Oh, never mind. Here's the black lesbian masturbating in front of her army buddies. Because you have to have a character like that.
You forgot to say very attractive. I don't. If she
was very pretty.
She's black or like Puerto Rican or
person of color.
Because I think that guy speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
I was like, doesn't she speak? She has like Hispanic. I don't know.
No, the Hispanic character is the guy that just needs 5 minutes to change your mind or whatever.
Change your world.
All right, that's right. I made a note of piece of shit PC, and I'm like, settle down, George. This is the kid that's just like, your piece of shit PC. I'm like, what the? It's just a fucking laptop.
Isn't this Diary?
No, this is the teenager because this is the teenager in Survival that's like, well, we need to go visit this guy because he's saying that if we go here, that we can go to this island.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah, they find an armored truck with money, and again, he really wants to get that cash because, of course, cash still matters.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. I actually like the army. Like the army guys, I thought they had kind of good chemistry. I enjoyed them as a group. I hate the kid. I don't know why he was there. This is like still like a holdover for Diary for me. I'm like, just like knock it off with these teenager characters. You don't know how to write them. They're not interesting. I don't care about them.
Let's get to another George pushing race in the beginning. They find a group of like, oh, they're not Hicks, but I guess so. They're out in the woods, and they find these guys around a campfire, and they basically are going to steal their shit. And then one of them tries to reach for a gun, so they shoot them all. And then he goes and finds that they had killed You're going to assume, I'm just going to assume they were all zombies first, that they didn't murder these people innocent, but they're a bunch of black zombies. They ripped their heads off and put them on pikes.
Right.
And so the heads were still like, so he puts them all out of their misery, but it's just like, you fucking racist pricks.
Right.
Again, still. Oh, we forgot to talk about Diary, how people would hang the dead and do shooting practice with them. And
well, I mean, that goes all the way back that's a long-standing George Romero tradition.
So again, humans versus humans. they just work together.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. We're going to get the zombies to eat horses. It's weird. It's weird. It's got a great last shot, though. I love the last shot with the big-ass harvest moon and the two, like, they're zombies now, but, like, they're still trying to shoot each other, but they don't have any bullets, so they're just, like, click, click, click.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
It reminds me of the scene from, from PTU, when the two triad bosses go to shoot each other, but they're both kind of old.
Yeah.
So they're just both like shooting and injured, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I dug it. Anyway, it's worth a watch. It's better than you probably think it is. And, lazy Sunday afternoon watch, I think, is pretty good.
In this one, they chain up zombies, like the mailman zombie. So the zombie keeps delivering the mail over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is like Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Have the zombie cart or whatever.
There's like just less new stuff. Like we got no point now where it's like, yeah, we've seen a lot of this already.
I liked his little cell phone advertisement for the island.
I like that character in general. I thought he was fun to watch like the whole time. I liked his accent and like I just enjoyed him.
Come to, I don't even remember what his name is. Like, come to Plum Island. It's really good. Of course, it's a stick-up scam. He just lures people in and then steals their... Well, he doesn't steal their money. They give him everything he's got, and he gives them a boat, and he sends them to the island.
Right.
And then they get killed on the island, which he wasn't actually planning on. He just wanted people go there to bug the guy who kicked him off the island.
A nice little sequence of a guy that's fishing for zombies. It's kind of fun. He's like fishes the zombies, and they come up, he shoots them.
There's a part where they throw a grenade at the building and the wall gets blown up, and then it's like a cartoon.
Yeah, a lot of the movie's like a cartoon.
And there's the three guys standing there with their guns, but then they have like the soot all over their face.
Right.
Is it total like Yosemite Sam?
He's just
shit.
getting like Romero's getting older, and just the idea that he's like a balancing act between the humor and cartoonishness and like the more serious and violent. It's just he doesn't quite have the deft hand with it anymore. It's nothing like Dawn of the Dead, where I think that there's comedy and like really biting social satire and also like depression and sadness and existential dread and stuff. It's all balanced pretty good. But here it's just kind of like a little weird.
In the beginning, he has something like, I have to go upstairs and check on your kids because your kids are probably zombies.
Yeah.
Like there was a very like, I have to do this.
Right.
It's not,
it started out like as a good, like I said, it's a very interesting idea and worth exploring. Just not cutting away from it and going to the soldiers and kind of getting back to the island. It just didn't have enough. It didn't have enough meat.
Yeah.
To really get going. Yeah. I don't want to see horses get eaten. I like horses. They're okay.
Fuck horses.
Yeah, like Game of Thrones, right?
Horses are stupid.
So how many fucking horses died in Game of Thrones? Holy shit.
I will say there's one of the things that made me laugh the most was when the guy swims in the boat. Wait, he bites the zombie's finger off.
Yeah, so now we know that if you get zombie shit in your mouth,
blood.
Well, I'm sure
if a zombie takes a shit in your mouth,
shit.
That's probably not going to be good either.
Do zombies shit? They just walk around with
we talked about that one time.
Okay.
He gets to the boat and she's like, "Behind you." And she's like, "But my gun's wet. I can't shoot it." He's like,
"That's just in movies."
It's just in movies to shoot it. And he shoots and goes, "Oh, I didn't know that works."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's true, but it made me laugh so hard because he's like, "But it's wet." And she's like, "That's not really a thing." And he just, "I didn't know."
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote, oh God, there's a lot of good, okay. I think the first half of this movie is much more entertaining than the second half.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But there's a point where he runs out of the shack, closes the door behind him, gets a bunch of sticks of dynamite, lights it, opens the door, the zombie sticks his hand out.
Hands it to him,
He hands it to him, and he takes it back and closes the door, and he tells him, he goes, thanks.
Yeah.
And he runs away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, it's fun.
I said, finds out she's a lesbian. He has a daughter. Oh, he finds out she's a lesbian, and he has a daughter, so he kind of looks at her like, I don't know if I should leave you. I know, just like another one of those weird things. The story of this movie really is that the guy has twin daughters. One's a zombie, one's not, and the zombie's riding a horse around the island.
Yeah, pretty much.
She still, remembers who she was, and she rides a horse.
And then the sister thinks that she remembers him, but she doesn't, and she bites her.
Well, because like I said, he thinks, we can feed them horse meat. They won't want to eat us.
Yeah.
And then her sister's like, Jane. Oh, and then she fucking bites her. And she's like, you bitch. You've always been a bitch.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
What the movie really needed was like a sense of escalation between the two different families where they keep like one-upping and doing awful things to each other. So like when you get to the end, you're like, yeah, both sides are bad. Yeah. But you don't really get that. You're kind of more just like always on the side of this one person. And so when you get to the end, it's
But you always don't know if you can trust him or not.
Right. But he didn't do enough. But he didn't do anything to like make you like he didn't really do anything bad.
There's a really bad gunfight where like no one is really just like shooting.
No, yeah.
At one point, he shoots a flare into the chest of a zombie, and then the inside
lights on fire and
lights
lights
up.
a cigarette with it.
Yeah.
And then he Bruce Lee sidekicks him
Yeah.
off the side of the thing.
He shoots him with the flare. It goes in the chest. The head starts glowing from the inside, then bursts into fire. He walks up and lights a cigarette on the fire, and then Kung Fu kicks him off the boat.
It's like the point where just like zombies are so not threatening at this point. Like
Right.
what you know?
Oh, his name is Seamus Muldoon. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
Muldoon's a fun word.
The shit guy, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I want to preserve the dead, our families, and then you find out he's just shooting plenty of living people.
He's like Dr. Frankenstein, but like an idiot. You know, like they're gonna teach them to not eat us. And
Oh, her name is Tomboy. I just remember that now.
he's always got like weird. There was like a character in Land of the Dead that drives the Dead Reckoning, and her name was Pretty Boy.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a trans character? Like,
I don't know. So I wrote, ripped in half, someone gets scalped, a hot poker through the dick and out the ass.
that's right. I forgot about that.
There's some good kills in this one. Yeah, that's Survival of the Dead.
Okay,
Again, it's worth watching.
it's not the worst one.
So let's go with the Night remake. So these aren't directed by George Romero, but they are remakes of his movies. And I don't want to use bad words all the time, but god damn, the Night remake is a good fucking movie.
On this, we agree. It's very strong, very, very, very strong.
Very strong.
I know you'll have no problem with this, but I was surprised at how much, in my mind, I was wrestling with. Is this better? This might be an improvement. Like, can we throw the old one away? Like, this one's pretty damn good.
No,
but there's stuff about the first one.
Lying asshole. You wouldn't throw the old one
No,
away.
of course not.
Because this goes back to my thing of like The Force Awakens. I'm like, well, if it's the same movie, but it looks better, sounds better, and has better acting, does that technically make it a better movie?
So the Night of the Living Dead remake has worse music. I'll say
I
that.
hear that it has like a weird. It's the same thing with like the Return of the Living Dead Part 2, where it has like 2 different soundtracks, or like
Oh, maybe.
something it got fucked with
This is like, I wish that somebody would rescore it because clearly they couldn't afford. But like the library music for Night of the Living Dead is like more appropriate for its time.
Yeah.
I get it matches more the mood of it, like the drive-in theater aspect of it. Whereas this one, it's just bad. I wish somebody would write.
I don't remember.
I wish somebody would actually write like a real score for the Night of the Living Dead remake. It would make the movie so much better. But maybe that's just me.
1990, and why is this so good? It's directed by Tom Savini.
Also written by George Romero.
Yes, I guess so.
No, that's a big part of it.
No, I didn't know that. But I think it's like Savini was the special effects guy who's been working with George for a lot of stuff for many years. I mean, he was on Dawn. He was in Dawn, on Dawn, whatever. What a perfect person to take something that he has been kind of been a part of for so long and put his not spin on it, because obviously it said George wrote it, but let him direct it and take his own shot with it. And George was very like, yeah, have a go at it, Tom. Like, I'm okay with that. Because even though public domain, Night of the Living Dead being that anyone could make their own remake if they wanted to, because George didn't own any copyrights on it, he wanted his blessing. He said, I wouldn't do it if George didn't say I could.
Right.
And man, he knocked it out of the fucking park.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of things that I'm not like. I go to the ending and I wonder which is. I guess still think the Night of the Living Dead ending is better. But I really like the personality. But I like the personality of this one. I like that she shoots fuckface. Like you know, at the end, like I do enjoy that.
Let's not skip to the end already.
Okay, I'm gonna spoil a movie that everybody's already watched.
No, but I mean, let's get through it. So
this time, we got Tony Todd as Ben, and I think he does a really good job.
I saw Tony Todd in person once.
I'm sure he did. He's
seemed like a
everywhere.
very scary person.
Well, he is Candyman.
He didn't seem thrilled to hang out with fans or anything like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
I also saw Ken Faree in person, and he was fucking awesome.
Yeah, Ken Faree. So Barbara. So the big contribution that George makes this time. There's some subtle changes towards the end, but like mostly this movie's pretty much just like the original.
Okay,
with the exception.
The intro when they're going out to see their mom's grave, and the brother's like, "Oh, fuck her.
Yeah,
she got buried all this far, so we have to drive out here. Fuck her."
Yeah.
But
it's Bill Moseley. Well, he doesn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
who plays the brother? That's Bill Moseley.
Young.
Yeah. Yeah. Which you did? Did you ever watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2? I guess we'll eventually do those movies and you'll see it. You would remember that. It's fucking Dennis Hopper with his double chainsaws and shit.
Oh, I know. I have not actually, but
okay.
I know.
That's Bill Moseley. Like that's the movie.
Isn't he like House, Thousand Corpses?
Later. Yeah. But I mean, like he would have. Rob Zombie wouldn't have given a shit or wanted him if it wasn't for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I'm just saying,
I saw him much older and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole like they're coming to get you Barbara joke, that's funny. But he goes, and they're horny. That made me laugh.
Yeah, that stuff's good. It's a good script. It still understands, like, the shit that worked, it leaves alone. Just totally leaves it alone. It's all that stuff I was talking about in terms of, like, just nice, tight, like, seeing people figure it out, seeing people, like, react and bounce off each other and the different ideas they have about what they want to do. Obviously, the big change here is I get a second crack at Barbara.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Barbara before was just paper thin, just like, oh, God, Johnny! Like that. And now she's just fucking badass.
Yeah.
There's a really cool, like, strong female character here that I just never really gave enough credit to before.
Yeah, and like I said, this is after, Alien and Aliens, and Sigourney's obviously popular, and we're starting that kind of...
Yeah, for sure.
I want to pick some other movies, but I can't seem to think of any off the top of my head right now. But, it's... I can imagine this is a time to, like, have good, strong female role models, characters, things like that, I like... Also, the effects in this movie are really good.
Oh, yeah. And he didn't go... So...
Like super gore. It just
right, because Day of the Dead is like, whoa, baby.
Speaking of Day of the Dead, that choke on him scene.
Yeah,
I remember they said like that those like pig intestines or whatever they were had been in a fridge that stopped working.
I know,
and they were rotten.
Nasty.
So when they ripped him out of him,
yeah,
he almost gagged and threw up, which adds to the scene. It works out. Not that so much that stuff.
I hear that he actually went out of his way to not go too over the top with the gore because he wanted it to. He wanted to keep the original in mind. Yeah. Like I think you really feel that. Like it doesn't feel like some just like total modern reimagining. Like I do feel like it's just it's a very respectful send up to the original.
They're freshly dead. It's starting again. It's not weeks in or whatever. It's the first time. I just like the first one. There's a zombie fake out right in the beginning when he gets grabbed, but it's just like it's just kind of like a crazy guy walking through the graveyard, but he's saying something like they're coming or it's like, oh, it's a bum. Not a zombie. And then the zombie shows up.
Right. Is this the guy with like his clothes are like cut in the back?
Because he
steps on his own clothes and then you see like this big chest cavity wound.
Well, not a wound.
Or like a sewn up thing, like a cadaver.
Yes, because he was in the coffin and he got up and walked out. So he is freshly about to be buried. So the suit is cut in the back. Yeah. That's good stuff. The way
that's
help
really
me.
Good. So
wait, never mind.
So apparently I had a friend tell me that
he grabs a brick to smash the window right off the bat. So at this point, these zombies are already smarter. No. I guess originally he grabbed a tire iron to smash the window, right? When she's in the car.
No, it's a brick. In the original movie?
In the original, he like picks up a tire iron, I thought, and then in this one he grabs a brick.
It was a tire iron.
Whatever.
I conflate the two. I actually had trouble. Like the movies are so similar to each other that there's a lot of stuff that I couldn't remember if it had happened in one movie or the other. There's no Blu-ray for this. This is a crime against humanity. Like, there's nothing like available. Apparently, same thing for Dawn of the Dead. There's no like Blu-ray you can just go and get.
What do you mean Dawn of the Dead?
For the original Dawn of the Dead. I have one, but that's like no longer available.
Oh, you mean
it's like way out of print.
We own the fucking box.
It's been out of print for years.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I own this. I bought this DVD a long time ago, so I already had it.
You had like black box set thing. That thing was cool. That has like all the different cuts on it and special features and stuff. I think the Blu-ray disc I have, which is a Anchor Bay Stars or whatever thing, I think that still has like everything that's on those DVD discs that you have. They just put it all on Blu-ray.
No, I'm talking about I had the DVD for the Night remake.
Oh, do you really?
I bought that just like a long time ago. I've had it.
Yeah, I think I had that at one point too. It's like the cardboard case.
No, it's just a cheap like black case with the thing. Okay. The Blu-ray. Wait, so. The Dawn of the Dead you have is not is the Blu-ray?
I have a Dawn of the Dead Blu-ray, yeah.
Doesn't it have all three versions?
Yeah, it has like everything on there. Yeah, it's just in a smaller package. But after watching this, I immediately jumped on the internet and was like, I need to have this in my library. Nope. I guess I'll just hopefully wait for somebody to do something cool with it.
Did I? I'd have to go check, but maybe I might have rented from Netflix a Blu-ray version.
Yeah,
if they had it, because probably. I feel like it looked. No,
I don't remember how Oh, it's available on Shudder. I watched it that way, and it's a good transfer.
Hey, Shudder, you should sponsor us.
Yeah, Shudder's been great, man.
But anyways, I think I watched the DVD rip that I've had because I own that DVD, and it still looks really good.
Right. So somebody fucking make a thing. That's all I'm saying. Like the beautiful Day of the Dead Blu-ray from Scream Factory. Yeah. Would love to have. It's just like I was telling somebody, it's weird. Like we're doing a podcast, like all these Dead films, and because they're all different studios and different weird situations, like
no collection.
There can be no like box set, that's just got the whole damn thing in it.
So what happens in the Night of the Living Dead remake?
Pretty much exactly everything that happens in the original movie. Yeah, I don't know how much I have.
Zombie falling over the banister.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's good. Yeah, yeah, that was good.
Tony Todd has a speech about like fighting and to stay strong. I thought it was really good.
Right.
The people in the cellar, who the dad's a dickhead. Yeah. Horror siege, boarding up windows.
Yeah, all that good stuff still there.
He covers up Tom's cousin with the sheet. So he has to see him.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
That was nice.
It's good.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
It's really good, man. It's good shit. Barbara actually finally says like the thing that you were saying. Like she's like, they're kind of slow. Can't we just
run past them?
Run right past them? Yeah, and she's technically right. Like later at the end of the movie,
and no one even said it, but like I felt like Ben might have. Tony Todd was like going to say like, but where are we going to run to?
Right. Yeah.
We're just going to run from here to another room, another building somewhere, right? And
yeah.
Her thing was like, oh, I'm just going to run to safety. But like, where's safety? He said, I came from the city. I saw the diner get shot up, and the guy next to me go down. You know, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, she becomes the rifle person. Like in the original, Ben has the rifle, and there's no like, you know, oh, are you sure you're gonna be okay with that thing? It's never brought up or anything like that.
She wastes some bullets when she's shooting him. Like, see, is he dead?
Yeah.
Is he going down? I'm like, you're wasting bullets.
Yeah, but it's a cool scene though. I liked it when she was like that.
Yeah, she gets mad. She gets angry. She's really good. I like Ben's strategy to fight off zombies. He basically knocks them down and then he pulls them to the ground. Mm-hmm. It's like judo.
Yeah.
Because like, I can't kill them, so I'll knock them down and I can run past them.
Right.
You know? Or I'll pull one.
Yeah.
Because he like can literally grab them and pull them down.
Yeah.
And then go past them. So
I love Tony Todd's performance in general. I think he did a really good job. I still like Dwayne Jones better, but I love the part at the end where like him trapped in the basement and he's just kind of not going crazy, but just sort of like, I don't know. He's feeling really like the disparate situation of it.
Oh, he's shot.
Yeah.
And he's down there with the...
No, he's not shot. Is he?
He got shot.
How?
They have a shootout between him and the dad. And he gets shot multiple... That's why he tells her to go. He's like, I can't.
Right. Yeah, I guess you're right.
And so in this one, the dad character from the cellar ends up finding the attic and going, oh shit, I can just go up the attic.
Right.
Which is, my thing was always like, destroy the staircase. If there's zombie apocalypse, go 2 stairs, destroy the stairs and get a ladder. That way the zombies can't climb up to you. Even though in that one they trying to climb the walls of the outside. Right. Also, the gas station explosion was really good. And
Barbara ends up making it out to like the camp of redneck people or whatever.
Before that though, when he's in the basement, he looks over after he's lighting a cigarette and he sees the gas pump key.
That's what it was. I knew there was some kind of like ironic thing that was just like we were fucked no matter what, you know.
Had they looked and been more cooperative, again, if the humans had been cooperative, maybe we would have made it out.
Right. Is some a little bit of on the nose dialogue where she's just we're them and they're us, you know. It's like, thanks, I didn't need that spelled out, but still good.
Yeah, like I said, she leaves and she just walks around him.
Yeah.
She's crying because one's holding like a doll, like a baby, but not a real
It's like a really good scene where she's just not just shooting them right away, just kind of like waiting to see how close they get and like.
Well, that's when she pushes it. Yeah. And then she pushes it again because it comes closer. And I wrote that she does a very good job of crying and just being frustrated and fed up. Like she just, it's not, I'm crying because I'm sad. She's just like, this is so stupid. Right. You know, it's a good movie. Yeah. It's such a good movie.
Which I guess we're kind of already answering. I think there was at least 1 or 2 questions just like, what do you think the best remake is? So we're kind of already covering it.
You want to go how this one ends? Just say the difference.
Well, she ends up back in the house and...
Okay, well, sorry. I guess I skipped over that. She finds all the rednecks.
Right.
Having a good time.
Right.
So she's kind of safe now.
Yeah.
Morning comes.
They're back at the house. They go into the cellar and...
Well, they forget that they're chainsawing through the door...
Right.
To get to the cellar because that door is locked from the inside, which is why he hasn't come out because it's...
Is he already dead when they open the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you forget or something? It's like the first one.
I remember him... Are you talking about her killing...
Okay, so they chainsaw through the door to the cellar and then Tony Todd appears at the top of the steps and his eyes are all glazed over.
Yeah. Which is like, my first thought was kind of like, they're kind of robbed. You guys are throwing away like the best like ending, like the best part of the original. But I thought they followed it up with something that was such a cool, interesting, like last thing that, I don't know, I like that too.
Yeah, which the dad pops up and goes, hey, and it scares her. He's like, I made it or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she just straight up shoots him right in the head.
Right. Just fucking cold-blooded murder.
The one thing I wanted to see there was her to point the gun at him and have him fucking shit his pants a little bit.
Right.
And then fucking kill him anyways. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Make him think that maybe she wasn't going to, but scare him. But she just does it so fast that she doesn't get her revenge really, in the sense of like, make him, I don't know. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. Oh, I'm getting really tired. We have 2 more movies to talk about.
Night of the Living Dead remake. It's really good.
Yeah, agreed.
So, let's get to another really, really good movie. You agree?
Yeah,
If you don't, you're an idiot.
No. I like it a lot.
Oh, I forgot zombie puns. Let's shamble on to another movie.
You already said that
I
one.
know.
You burned that one already.
So after we got off the rotting corpse that is Diary and Survival,
It's close enough.
I would take a bite out of this movie's brains.
Where is my Dawn of the Dead notes?
My wife's gonna be pissed.
Fuck you.
Not really.
All right.
Yeah, I feel bad
here
for
we
you.
go. I didn't have like a whole lot of things here. What the version that you watched?
Dawn of the Dead remake, 2004.
Yeah. Where did your version come from? Like was it a Blu-ray rip or what? What is it?
Yes.
The one you owned?
I do not own that.
Okay.
Oh, wait, maybe, no, it's Netflix.
So that means that the rip I have, that was the one that you gave me.
What?
God, it's so saturated or desaturated.
Really? Well,
What does it mean? Like, if it doesn't have color, it's desaturated?
it has. Okay, I don't know everything about this stuff, but
I think saturated means
I
like
want to
full
say
of color.
desaturated would be like muted colors. I would say that they turn the contrast up really high, so the darks are really dark.
I would say there's less contrast.
No, have you ever
It's very like just muddy and
it's very drab.
it's like just like the Batman
And
versus
dirty.
Superman. Like it's just what people say about Zack Snyder movies, where they're just like very like ugly looking.
I like the way it looks. It looks dark and grainy, like film grain. I like that a lot.
I like it. I know you like that. I didn't care for it as much.
I wouldn't say desaturated because a lot of the colors pop. I think it's just like regular saturation, high saturation with high contrast, but a lot of dark browns and things like that.
Okay,
muted.
Here's what I'm saying about Dawn of the Dead remake.
It's amazing.
It's good.
If I could, and I know this is just one of those things where it's the movie you're supposed to kind of if I could get rid of Mekhi Phifer's character and her dumb girlfriend, pregnant baby, that movie would be perfection without that scene. I hate that scene.
Yeah, they're a bummer. Well,
I hate that character.
This Zack Snyder. I mean, Zack Snyder is just like completely. I'm not gonna shit on too much because it's a different kind of movie, but like completely misses the point of the mall. Like I don't even know why it's in a mall. Like if he's not even gonna like. They just do the quick little down with the sickness montage of everybody kind of getting into it.
They play down with the sickness in jazz form and then also in like
at the end
hard
of the
rock
movie.
form. It's
Yeah.
Like,
and he's just kind of more like, look at this fucked up shit, bro, with the Mekhi Phifer stuff. I feel like he just wasn't really ever interested in them being in the mall. Like they don't ever even get to a point
they never show
where
the stores. Really.
Not really. Like it's just they kind of just like like. It was a pain in the ass to get it like locked down and like that kind of stuff. And then if we only went straight, just barely little baby moment in the middle where they actually live in a mall, and then like, oh god, we can't stay here because of the Mekhi Phifer stuff.
You know what I think?
Let me finish though.
Shut up.
You shut up.
This movie is good.
I said it was good.
It's beyond good. It's really good.
I give it a B+.
This is what gave Zack Snyder a career for him to flush down the toilet later.
I think that
I like Sucker Punch. As much as people don't, I think it's a good movie. 300 is stupid, and Batman vs. Superman was garbage. Also, that Subaru commercial was awesome.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Zack Snyder used to direct like commercials and music videos.
I will say that the opening sequence and the title sequence are chef's kiss.
Swedish Chef.
They are the best part of the whole movie, and I don't. It sounds like a dick when I'm saying that, but like I honestly think that if you're a film student or if you're gonna make like horror films or anything like that, like studying that shit, did a lot of like using Johnny Cash. Now everybody does it. Now you take like fucking like.
Oh, Watchmen was good too.
Watchmen also had an amazing opening sequence and title sequence. He's really good at these.
Which I know. That's why it's like when I watched Watchmen, I was like, oh shit, this is just Dawn of the Dead. But it's good. It's like some grade A beef.
The beginning. Yeah.
Yes.
I think the rest of it's still fun, but it's
I would say it's probably one of the most heightened, stressful, heart-pounding, well-executed, scary beginning like intros to a movie ever.
Yes.
I mean, like it's gonna be you can't I don't think you can't top that, but man,
No,
that hit hard.
There's good shit in there. Smart, creative filmmaking. Just things were. God, the shot where
The daughter jumps up.
Yeah. Yep, that's very memorable.
I love that he's down there and he's the blood. The father gets bit and he left on the bed and she's like, "Here, hold this on the wound. I'm gonna call 911." And he doesn't hold it because he's like passing out. And she's on the phone and you just see in the background he gets up and he walks to the room.
Just
he's
looking around. Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking scary.
Yeah.
And then you find out they can run.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, no, I don't want to watch this movie. They run, fuck that.
I love the bird's eye shot from when she closes the door and just kind of falls backward into the tub.
Yeah,
it just looks great.
It looks like it hurt.
It does. It looks painful, like hitting linoleum. Then when she gets in the car and he's like, after he's trying to get into the windshield, and she's driving away and he's just bolting, just trying to keep up with her from the back, and then this. Good acting on this guy's part, too.
Right.
Just like this running until something else catches my eye and he just like beelines.
Yeah,
just like total 90 degree. Yeah, and that guy's fucked, whoever that person is.
And then it was a Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, it was. I loved all that stuff, the action going on in the background, seeing this lady like run across the street with these two people running behind her and they just kind of run to the garage.
It is the scariest fucking... Because when I talk about the downfall of society and you want to see it, I don't want to see that one.
Yeah.
Because that's what suburbia, that's what it looks like when you have a house in your neighborhood.
Right.
Have the chaos. The fucking cop, it's like, or the ambulance, like, stop your car. And she's like, no. It's fucking creepy.
I loved, for a CGI shot and everything, I loved it. Just the extreme bird's eye shot, like aerial shot of the car going down and then just the other car like T-boning coming at that perpendicular angle, hitting that car and blowing up the gas station. Man, it was great. And great little nods, too. Like, when I thought about that, I thought about, like, Ben's story from Night of the Living Dead with the gas station exploding. With the kid, with the imagery with the kid made me think of the kid from Night of the Living Dead. I thought it was some interesting kind of callbacks to the night movie rather than the Dawn movie in some ways.
And there's that scene where she pulls up on, like, a school bus or something, or, like, a bus.
Yeah, and somebody's just getting, like, torn to
and
ribbons.
She's naked, and it looks like a rape scene.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to... If you've never watched the Dawn of the Dead remake, I would say watch it. But
no,
anything
absolutely.
Else, watch this first 5 to 10 minutes, and it is very effective.
And then
it's just like fucking montage shots of like the world dying. Real life news footage of riots.
Again,
and
maybe
that truck driving into people. I don't know how that ends, but that's fucking.
Yeah, I mean, this
scary.
is all just stuff that's like, this is the horrible shit that actually happens around the world. None of this was staged. Somebody like went and found a lot of really good.
You have like the reporter in the hotel, and the zombies break in, and then you have like on the lawn of the White House, and then they start shooting all the reporters.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows how fast it evolves. Also, one of the guys shooting the guns is Zack Snyder.
I loved the. Doesn't surprise me. I loved the White House correspondent or whatever White House guy speaker. What the fuck do you call him?
He was the CDC.
We've gone through 3 of them. Oh, he was the CDC guy.
I don't think he was communicating. He's like from the CDC.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't know.
Yeah, like so that's so important in Dawn and Night. Like the media, and they feel very real, especially in Night of the Living Dead. That stuff feels very like that. Felt like television that would have been in in the 60s, but the very simple like we don't know like that whole thing. Yeah, it's good. It's really good shit. And then the actual effect of like the liquid like kind of skirting off the screen. And again, the music really works. Again, like nowadays, it's everybody fucking does this, and it's been done to death, But in this case, it was great, and the rest of the movie's really good too.
Yeah, I wrote that the sound mix was not that good. Like I felt like it was either too loud or too quiet.
The sound mix was awful because I was constantly having to turn it up and down.
Because I would have to turn down every time it got loud and then turn it back up again when it wasn't.
Yeah. So
there's a store called Galen Ross.
Yeah, I saw that. Nice little right. Yeah, not a ton of that kind of stuff.
Let's not forget that this also introduces us to CJ. One of the best characters in a movie ever.
Is that the security guard?
Security guard.
Yeah, he was good.
He's great.
I liked him a lot.
Fucking Ving Rhames is great.
Ving Rhames is great. I liked a lot more characters this time around than I remember liking the first time that I watched
Modern
it.
Family.
Great. I know you're gonna make fun of me, and I wonder if you'll catch why you're supposed to be making fun of me. But
what?
I really like the guy with the Best Buy guy.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed
because you're a white nerdy.
I knew it. You were gonna do because I remember you making fun of me of that for what was it the Hills Have Eyes remake.
Oh my god, yeah, because he wears glasses.
Yeah, I know you were sad. No, I like that he can't. I like the way he talked to CJ in the very beginning, just like trying to stay calm and like not like be confrontational with people.
He's the most level-headed logic guy.
I just enjoy the shit of him. I felt genuinely bad that he like kills himself at the end. I really didn't need this movie to end in such a way that suggests that nobody fucking makes it.
Right.
Fucking dark
Tom
shit.
Savini makes a cameo as a sheriff, and I love that because he's like, you shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
All you got to do is shoot him in the head. You know, it's just.
How do you not know this yet?
Yeah.
So
Reiniger has a cameo as a military guy, and then of course Ken Faree
yeah,
has
I knew
a cameo.
that, but I missed that. Yeah,
as
his
the
was
priest.
whoa. I didn't like that.
I love it. I love everything about this movie. Fuck you. It's a great movie.
I just don't want to see Ken Faree be like a bad guy.
Well, but he was kind of playing up the like voodoo.
No, because he was doing
Mormon
like
Oh, yeah.
men lay with other men, marrying men, you know. That's
But it kind of goes like maybe that's his grandpa.
right. That's true. That's a fair point.
Yeah, CJ plays a hard ass with no feelings, but once you got to get to know him, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I'll get to the end. I don't even know what the fuck he's doing there. It reminds me of when they shot The Thing and they had to get a guy who had his arms. He had an amputee, a double arm amputee.
Yeah.
Stick his arm in the monster to get him ripped off.
Yeah.
You know? They got that Asian guy, the runner, in the beginning. It's not racist, right? I'm describing the guy because you'll notice when I see him, he's
The black tank top.
the black tank top. He looks somewhat normal, like he's going for a jog, and then he looks over and he turns, and one of his arms is ripped off.
Yeah.
And that's a real amputee. I'm pretty sure they said that's like a real amputee victim. That guy's fucking scary.
Yeah. Why did the janitor? Why were there zombies inside the mall?
The guy had a heart attack.
Okay.
You know, who knows?
So is this like, because George Romero rules is like, you die, you come back. It's not like you got to bite.
Right.
But in this one.
Well, you know, just Monday morning, everyone who dies is now a zombie. This comet passed over and the meteorite magic, everyone's a zombie now when they die.
Yeah.
I don't know, because sometimes like in things are like, oh, he wasn't bitten, and I can't remember which one that was, but they're like, oh, he wasn't bitten, he just died or something, and they try to see if he would come back or not. I don't know. Yeah.
I like this movie a lot. I think as long as you don't like, the trap I fall into in my mind is comparing it too much to Dawn of the Dead.
Also, that big fat lady in the wheelbarrow. You don't let her.
You can tell she's
She
not
ain't gonna
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that scene before the truck backs up when it's the Best Buy guy and Mekhi Phifer going to go out the door, and he's like, you want to do this? He's like, nope, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. And then he goes to pull the door, and the door's locked.
Come
and
on,
Mekhi
man,
Phifer unlocks the door, even though he's like, I'm not going outside. Yeah, that's some good shit. I love Ving Rhames. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Gosh, this movie's so good. It's so scary, though, because it gives me, if I have bad dreams and running zombies, it's because of watching this fucking movie.
That's funny. Like, yeah. I don't get scared by it at all. So I guess when the parts that are supposed to be scary are not like scary.
I just mean running zombies and just like how fast it happens. Also, when the fat zombie, when she turns into a zombie and she gets up out of the bed, she fucking runs with her arms waving in the air. Oh, it's fucking creepy. I love this movie. Fuck the girl and her dumb.
Have you always felt this way? Have you you've loved it like since the beginning?
From the moment I saw that, this is great.
Okay. I definitely think when I first watched it, I was like, you were not as good as the original. You did not. You forgot the face of your father. That's like was my initial. Because again, it doesn't have any. Zack Snyder's just not interested in any of the commentary. Just none at all.
But again, that's why I like this. It's just a fun.
But again, like
zombie.
once I just interface with it as just an entertaining, zombie action film, then it's fine. It's good.
It's good and it's effective. And I think everyone's
Scream Factory just released supposedly or they haven't done it yet, but there's going to be a nice Scream Factory disc for this scene.
I like Ving Rhames shows some emotion when he has to kill Frank. He actually.
I like the way he holds his shotgun while he's waiting, or he's like kind of like cradling it.
Yeah, it's this. Good acting in this movie. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think that the cast they got just seems very no big name actors really.
It's got who's the guy from Modern Family?
He's
pretty good,
huh?
The guy from Modern Family.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Go take a pleasure cruise, you jackasses.
Ty Penny. I
don't know his name.
I don't know, but he plays the asshole. He's great.
Yeah.
I like this movie. I keep saying that over and over again. I would not go in that fucking parking garage. After working in a parking garage and knowing what it looks like when the lights go out, fuck that place.
Yeah.
You would go close the door by myself in the dark and look for
ghosts. I know there's no such thing as zombies.
There's a fucking zombie with no legs, climbing on the pipes.
Yeah,
that is good shit. We talked about the birth scene and zombie babies, big deal. Just shoot it. I just don't like that. Also, he like went crazy and he's like, "You trying to break up my family?" Fuck that.
Yeah, I could have done without that stuff. Also, that's definitely like the weak link.
Yeah.
Also, that being like the reason they leave, it's like that's it. You guys did it. Like,
why did
that was the last zombie? Now you're okay. But then it was like Ving Rhames, like I know that there's one thing worse than dying is sitting around here waiting to die.
Well,
I'm like, or
the power
you guys
goes
are
out.
safe now.
The power goes out and they get all scared. But then they have to go. They got to go get Ken, the guy who runs the
Only because that's after they've decided that they're gonna go.
Right. But at some point, but that's
It's a bummer that guy died. Zack Snyder has this like cynical streak in him, man. Like
What?
Zack Snyder,
like what? Though?
just in general, dark guy.
But you're talking about the
just like why did that guy like it would have been such a nicer thing to have that guy not be dead or like have.
But it sets off the whole rest of the movie is when she goes over to save the dumb dog.
Yeah.
Sorry. She's dumb about the dog. I love dogs. Dogs are the best. Fuck cats. Fuck your cats with herpes. No, sorry.
You want to fuck them with
don't
herpes?
fuck your cats and give them herpes. Fuck your cats. They have herpes.
Gotcha.
Do
you remember the name of the dog?
Chips.
Chips. Yeah. We can't remember the name of the guy that worked at Best Buy, but we remember the dog's name.
Roger. I don't know. Like I said, Ken was the guy at the ammo shop, and then he's they bite. There's some biter, or what does he fucking say? They sure bite hard, or something like that.
Yeah.
His name is Andy. It's not Ken. Sorry. I think Ken is the guy in Resident Evil 2 has the gun shop. Anyways, what makes you think you could ever have gotten over there through the sewer and there's just a million fucking zombies out there? It's a gun store. He had a sniper. I don't know how many bullets he has in the store, but I feel like he could have shot probably half of those zombies one at a time. I mean, I love the scene when they put the signs like Rosie O'Donnell, and then he has to find in the crowd the one that looks like Rosie. That was fucking funny.
You know who wrote the script, right?
No, I don't.
Really?
No. Oh, the guy that Jenna Fisher married.
That's true. Then surprised you don't know his name.
But I don't know who it is.
James Gunn.
James Gunn, the guy who Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, right?
Yeah, he did Slither.
Slither I liked.
And Super.
I have not watched Super yet.
That's a really kind of sad, depressing movie.
Yeah.
That he made after he got divorced.
Well, there you go.
Do you like Guardians though, right? No, you don't. All right. We don't need to talk about it. That's fine.
I don't like that one.
That's
scene.
okay. You don't. That's fine.
I only like the scene at the end.
I'm enjoying your soul.
What are you doing? And he's dancing.
Yeah.
Okay. I would just say it out loud. I don't know. It's like CJ summarizes the speech. He's like, okay, so you're telling me we're gonna go across the street, save the fucking dog, whatever, and get in this asshole's boat. And the other he's like, yeah, okay, fuck it, let's go. Yeah. Oh man. And then why do you have to drive so fast? There's no zombies out. And also, don't crash your big fucking bus, which you do.
Don't
put a chainsaw. Don't put a chainsaw on
a good idea.
Yeah, I like when they blew up the propane tank. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It looked great.
That nice shot where they go.
The shockwave.
Yeah. Kind of makes you think that if it did that to the zombies outside the truck, it'd be probably liquefy the guts of everybody that was inside the van that was right in front of it.
But. Just get more propane tanks. That's how you do it.
Yeah. No, I dug all that.
I don't understand. They crash into the dock because, of course, the things don't have fucking brakes on them. They just fucking ram right into the docks. But they're all going to the boat, and CJ goes, "Oh, I'll meet you there. I'm gonna go through the bus."
No, I don't know.
And the door gets stuck.
He knew that the movie was gonna have him sacrifice himself.
I don't know why he wanted to blow the propane tank, but
Why? They found a boat after they get in the boat, and then they see another boat, and then in that boat there's a cooler with a head inside of it.
Yeah.
Why?
Someone took his wife out and she was dead. And
you think it was it's just a serial killer's boat that they happened to find?
No, I think it's someone's family member died and they were out there and he cut the head off and put it in a boat and then drowned himself or something. I don't know.
In my head, I was like, that was already there before all that shit started. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I will. I like how when CJ dies though and he shoots the propane tank and it lights the flare and the thing. He just goes, fucking figures.
Yeah.
Of course I don't. He was smart the whole way through and then he finally fucking right at the end. He gets it. He's a great character. He is in Zodiac, and I can't think of anything else he's in. I know it's a depressing ending, but they get on that boat and they find the tape, and it's Ty hanging out with girls or tits hanging out and everything, and they get to the island, and I like how this is found footage. I kind of like how that worked when they go to the island and they're walking off the docks, and it's there's a motion in the oh shit, they're here too, and they're everywhere, and then it kind of just
Yeah.
I feel like there's an extended cut of that where they go back on the boat or something like that, I don't remember what.
Oh, there's hope.
Yeah. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, Ving Rhames is great.
Also,
I'm sure I'd like to see him in another zombie remake.
I was gonna say, Ving Rhames is also in another zombie movie.
You ready to move on to the fucking fart turd of our last last thing to go out on here?
Yes. I will say we watched the Day of the Dead remake, and it only had one leg to stand on. I would have chewed through my own arm to get out of watching this movie for the second time.
Yeah.
I rented this movie from Netflix like 8 years ago and watched it.
This is kind of like weird. It's sort of like the Return of the Living Dead sequels, but with more money than that. But like still felt like
you know what this movie
cheap. It's like a sci-fi movie.
Absolutely. You know what's the great not allegory, but the great comparison to this? Alien vs Predator 2.
Yeah. I think AVP 2 even has more going on, a lot more going on than this one did. But
they both take place in a Colorado town, and they look dark and
this one's like yellow. Yeah, it's just like a pea yellow,
but not a warm yellow, a very ugly yellow.
Yeah. So this is crazy. I mean, again, according to the internet, this cost $18 million. You compare that to like the $18 million that George spent on Land of the Dead.
Which is weird because I didn't know that. And my first note says, not super low budget. It looks decent.
They had some CGI effects and stuff like that, but still the movie overall looked incredibly cheap and had no interesting set pieces.
I don't think it looked cheap. I just think it looked uninspired.
They didn't know how to shoot it in such a way that made it look like anything other than a sci-fi original movie. In my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's up there with like The Terminators as a sci-fi movie.
No.
Have you seen The Terminators?
Oh, I thought you meant like The Terminators, like the movies, like the sequels.
Oh, no. There's a movie called The Terminators or Terminators. It looks like it's... I watched like 30 seconds of it on the Sci-Fi Channel. I feel like it looked like a real movie. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
All right, so here's my first note. Just stop with teenagers, ... Please just stop.
You mean in life, right?
Just in horror movies in general. That just
all
don't.
Movies stop.
Yeah,
teenagers.
all of them. Well, sure. Like, just what the fuck who are these people with the guy with the spiky hair who's just hanging out in the dance? What the fuck is that? Look, who thinks that like this is what kids do? Like this.
So this is 2008. Just to clarify, it's no. I'm not saying that. I'm just.
I think that I forgot. I thought it was 1998. Maybe maybe is
They're just hanging out at the old abandoned military base, trying to make out with some chicks.
Yeah, this is weird. It's just weird. I don't get it. It's fine. It was disgusting. The guy with his fucking runny like nose mouth thing, like hawks a loogie and then keep making out. That was the most disgusting thing in the entire movie. There was no gore effect that was as gross as him doing that, and then they're still just like making out.
All right, Ving Rhames is back as he's Captain Rhodes, just like the guy from Day of the Dead, and he's a dick.
They just like kind of name characters in this movie after characters from Day.
Oh, her name was Sarah, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't even think about that.
No, it's Bud, not Bub.
I didn't think about that either. It's got the chick from American Pie because that's all I know that she's in, and I guess American Beauty, right?
No? That's it. And Nick Cannon.
Thanks for the comic relief, Nick Cannon.
Yeah,
you totally didn't fit in. Or wait, the sarcasm. He didn't fit in the movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It
couldn't hurt.
Okay, yes, but I mean, at least I can't take the comic relief seriously when the movie's bad. If it had been.
No, it's not good. It's really weird.
I think Nick Cannon actually is funny, but I just think he overplays his hand a lot.
I was
trying to be funny.
Like stomp the yard. I was trying to think of what I would say. I'm like, this is simultaneously my
drumline
favorite and least favorite Nick Cannon movie because it's the only one I've ever seen.
He is in something. You know what? He just wilding out.
They tried to shoot this movie sometimes like a Michael Bay movie, but like I want to do that Michael Bay shot where it's stationary, but like the camera like goes around it in a circle with the background. And, it's like Bad Boys 2 where like this and the camera goes this. It would do those things like all the time. And I'm like, why can't it just be a stationary shot? Like, they're just having a conversation. But also you can't do it. Like whatever it is that you need to do to accomplish that shot, you can't do it. It's just like weird.
All right. So the plot of this movie is they say there's an exercise. The military's doing an exercise so that people can't get on the road from Leadville, Colorado to Boulder. So they're all stuck in their town. But really it's a quarantine. Because the virus is out and people don't know it yet, but some government guy knows it. So all the people in the small Colorado town are all stuck there, and the shit pops off fast in this film. They don't waste any time, to be honest, because after they're making out, they go home, and the girl goes, "I'm walking home by myself because you're dick guy. I don't know why." And then she gets eaten by zombies, and they rip off her tattoo and her belly button ring.
So weird. That was so weird. It's just like a flat pancake piece of skin that they took off,
but I think
surgically removed.
It was either trying to be a call to Land of the Dead when he rips out the belly button ring, or it's just like vanity's bad,
I guess that was strange, super strange.
The radio jockey's funny.
Yeah, he's all right. I remember. I know him from things.
He's like he's in there and he's like doing the news, but then it pans back and there's like a soldier making sure that he says what they want him to say, and he kind of treats the soldier like he's one of those British guards with a fuzzy hat, because the guy like won't smile or say anything. He goes, "I'm gonna play Celine Dion, and that's gonna get you." He's like, "You probably like Celine Dion." I don't know. He's a good character.
It's actually some good. I mean, Stark Sands is in this movie we talked about earlier. I really liked him in Generation Kill, and
yeah, but he's a bumbling idiot in this movie.
he's not like anything in this movie. He's like I hope I can fuck the. Yeah, just literally talk to the mom. Like, do you think she'll fuck? Do you think your daughter will fuck me? Does she fuck? Do you think she'll fuck me? I don't know.
Like, I'm gonna get a piece of that American pie.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
I'm gonna
weird CGI thing to like showing the infection. Just like a. Do you remember that? Like computer generated.
Well,
this is what the infection looks like.
Before we get to that, though, let's just talk about how again these teenagers. One of the dumb teenagers is Sarah, who's the main character. It's her younger brother, who's just fucking annoying. Like, I know you already a teenager thing, but like his mom's sick, but he's like, I don't know, she's up there in bed, and he's just an annoying brat trying to have sexy times with a hot girl.
Yeah,
she is attractive. Nina, that's her name.
Wow, you're
because she walks in and they're on the couch making out. She's like, "How's it going, Nina?"
Yeah.
She's like, "It's going."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she has a gun that she doesn't.
Why didn't she want to shoot guns?
I was just gonna go to that point. It is never explained in the movie. She has a handgun and goes, "It's not loaded. It's a long story." The story never gets brought up, and she starts shooting guns later.
Okay.
So another poorly written. Maybe they deleted a scene. I don't know. Because she's just so good with them. She doesn't want to show off.
Really wasn't expecting zombies to all of a sudden start jumping up on ceilings and crawling around.
So get back to your the scene the virus take over. I guess also you go from a perfectly not healthy. I mean, you're sick, but you look perfectly alive, healthy person.
Like a demon.
To all of a sudden your face within 3 seconds gets just eaten away
like
from
Evil
the inside.
Dead like style.
It was too fast. But I did like. Most of the people, like, were in the emergency or the waiting room at the hospital, they kind of just started zoning out and staring at the wall. And then after, like, a minute of that, they turned into zombies. So it was just really kind of quiet before the storm, where everyone's just like totally zoned out.
Yeah.
And then just, whoop, everyone's a zombie. That's, okay. It is stupid and kind of shitty, that the whole thing. It's fucking scary, though. Like, can you imagine being in a hospital and then just all of them, that waiting room was a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah.
And yeah, but yes, a zombie. They run around the corner.
They jump really far.
Chasing her, he somehow jumps upside down on the ceiling, crawls along the ceiling, zombie. And then jumps. Yeah, that made no sense.
And that's just later. They have him jumping like 20 feet in the air, seemingly,
and running along the wall.
Right. Like,
literally running along the wall on all fours, and it somehow has traction.
This is before or after Left 4 Dead.
I don't know. But again, it also never gets, like, why do zombies have, like, superpowers?
They also had speed ramped zombies. They did use speed ramping on the zombies sometimes to make them look faster, like you can tell. It was kind of interesting.
There's a lot of, why did that happen? No reason.
Yeah.
Like when they leave the hospital and they're outside and all of a sudden, like, 5 or 6 zombies just bust out of, like, random windows from the 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor of the hospital. Why? I don't know. Cool. Because it looks good in slow motion.
Yeah. So this is the Resident Evil 3 movie is more of a Day of the Dead remake than this one is.
Why did you say it's the 3 movie?
Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, the movie.
Because it like takes place in an underground military bunker and then like, the desert with the fence around it, and they're trying to train zombies to.
I didn't quite, because I always think about with that one is just desert and stupid Vegas.
It's the bad guys with the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I was like, Ving Rhames didn't last very long.
Also, he's like, I'll wait outside, and then they go outside, and Ving Rhames says, "No, we're fucking there." And then
I hope he got a paycheck.
Yeah. Well, he had to play a zombie with no legs, and he had to eat his own eyeball.
So supposedly this has like, well, I looked it up on IMDb because I saw on a message board somebody said there's like 15 producers. I was like, there's 15 producers. I look at IMDb and I'm like, there's 6 regular producers and then like another 6 executive producers. So like whatever that means.
There's probably like everyone who is like the original producers on Day of the Dead probably have to have their name on it because of the rights and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you ever see like not screenplay, but they'll be like George Romero's name will get attached to something. We're like, well, he didn't write that. It's just because they have his characters from his movie or something.
Tyler Bates did the music for this movie. Which is, kind of a okay.
I mean, this is early. When did Rambo come out?
This is after Dawn of the Dead remake, which Tyler Bates did the music for.
Didn't he also do? He did Rambo, right?
Tyler Bates? Has he been around that long?
Jerry Goldsmith, right?
Or the new one or no? Jerry Goldsmith did the score. Are you talking about the new?
No, the new Rambo. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Like his Goldsmith was No, Jerry Goldsmith in Rocky, right?
No, that's Bill Conti.
Bill Conti, yeah. So it was Jerry Goldsmith, and he died. So he said, I think Tyler Bates is the one who did whatchamacallit, the new Rambo movie. Let's find out.
God, I don't know. I mean, this is Steve Miner directed this. And I don't know. I can't speak too much. He did the Friday the 13th, like 2 and 3. But he did Lake Placid, and Lake Placid was, fun movie.
How do I find out who composed the music on IMDb?
I don't know.
Just keep talking. I'll keep looking.
I'll try.
And I'll think of more zombie puns.
So they have this guy. So Stark Sam plays a guy named Bud, who turns into a zombie, but like retains his memory and kind of turns into like a good zombie that'll like fight on their side. And Nick Cannon like fucks with him the whole time and tells him to like stand at attention and march and all this stuff.
Well, he doesn't just say that. He's like, stay, bitch.
Yeah, he's like, that's why I said he's being a dick. I kind of don't remember it. I remember them getting to the bunker, and then from then on, I can continue describing things. So if you feel like there's something before they get to the bunker, you could talk about it. But
I mean, I kind of talked about the idea of AVP 2. There's a lot of outdoor shots, and I guess I see where the $18 million went. I mean, there is a lot of big set stuff outside where there's like 20 to 30 zombies running around, biting people, throwing them on cars. I mean, it wasn't all in like one little tiny set. I mean, you have, like you said, they're running along walls or they did wire work. The effects actually look pretty good. The practical effects, their skin does look all fucked up. They get stabbed in the head. There's blood, biting, and all kinds of stuff. So while it's not terrible, it's not good because it's all, I don't want to say superfluous, but it's all like, who cares?
It's just a really terrible script. Just story's not interesting, dialogue's not good. But
it's still
mixed with just very blah direction. Just nothing to see here.
He also did Watchmen.
Yeah, Tyler Bates been working with. He might have.
You didn't say that. So.
I think he's Snyder's composer. I think he's composed.
He just composes work for him, like around the house. Compose me some music. I want to walk through this room and feel cool. God damn it! Who composed the music to Rambo?
I don't know. So Doc Frankenstein now is just like a douchey, fucking like young doctor guy.
Yeah.
Which is strange. I don't know. Like I said, I can talk about the bunker. I can't remember anything before that, so I'm just gonna talk about that.
Brian Tyler did the music to the new Rambo film.
Ah, I see.
Tyler Bates.
I can see why you would think that.
I explained why I thought I could think that.
So the bunker, there's like a super boss zombie. There's like a final boss zombie.
Well, because the idea there that they retain some of the stuff from the regular life. He was a scientist, so
he was a ninja in a prior life.
That too.
And
but he knew he knows all the cool stuff, so he's the best zombie.
And he knows where all the good vents are and hiding places. It turns into like weird like aliens. Like crawling around corridors.
I'm gonna cut you off. So I told you a story earlier. I actually watched the director commentary of this movie back when it like first came out because I had too much time in my life at that time. And he mentioned a soldier, one of the actors, holding the gun, walking down an alley. And he's like, "Man, look at that guy! I didn't teach him how to hold the gun. That guy just must have known how to hold a gun." And then all these years later, I watched Generation Kill, and I see Stark Sands, which is the guy's in the movie, and I'm like, no wonder he knew how to hold the gun. He was trained because they came out the same year. I said he went through fucking boot camp. He learned how to, be in a war movie. And then I go watch the movie again finally, and I realized, oh, that character isn't Stark Sands. So I was fucking wrong.
You were fucking wrong.
So I tried to put two and two together, but it didn't work out. Oh, when Rhodes gets killed, he's shooting his gun, and his gun's going pew pew pew. It's like the weakest gunshot sound I've ever heard in my life. And there's an obvious ketchup bottle sound like a. Like it's not even. It literally someone squeezed a ketchup bottle for like the Foley effects. Yeah. Also seems not everyone turns. I don't know. Some people just die. They just like find dead bodies on the ground. They haven't turned. I'm sick of movies with air conditioning vents that are too big. There's racist jokes in the middle of all this. I don't know. I didn't even write what they were. I said stupid racism jokes in the middle of all the film. Like
Nick Cannon was making.
It might have been Nick Cannon, but I don't know. It was just like that just doesn't need to be there. Nick Cannon is basically Mike Epps' character in Resident Evil 2 movie, Apocalypse. The GTA, motherfucker!
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they saw that and
but
were
he's like a soldier.
Yeah, that's funny. Let's do one of those.
Right.
There's some royalty-free sound-on-ass music in this movie. Even though you just says Tyler. Wait, who
Tyler Bates.
Did he really do this?
I think he's credited.
It doesn't sound good at all. It sounds cheesy. At least parts of it.
I can't even remember the music.
The zombie soldiers shoot guns, which also they have unlimited ammo.
Yeah.
They just run around shooting guns, and it doesn't run out. I didn't talk about this in the original Day of the Dead, but I feel like maybe they copy this. Do you remember when they're in the right before they go up the missile silo, the ladder? They have all their guns. And for some reason, they just decide to all shoot all their guns on automatic at the same time. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, that was actually funny.
In the original, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do something like that here. It's one of those things where, like, why did they do that? But it's a terrible scene, but it's funny. It's really bad. Anyways, the underground lair. They find the cool lab, all the cool lights. Everything's white and sterile. I guess they thought they could keep the zombies in because they didn't know how to open a door with a big-ass handle on it. Because, when you want to hide a government facility below ground, a door handle, no one could ever figure that out.
Yeah. They just kind of wander around with guns with being stalked by a super zombie and
they decide to build the world's biggest flamethrower from a bunch of missile propellant things that she hits with the wrench, and then they light it on fire because of electricity. But Bud saves the day. He sacrifices his zombie self to fight other zombies to save Sarah because he wants to have sex with her, even though he's a zombie.
Maybe he has a chance, but he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy, yeah. Nick sacrifices himself to sort of save her. He says, "Run, Sarah." Fire.
It's a bad movie.
There's fire, and they all burn. And then, Oh, it's all over. And they're driving away at the end of the Humvee. And then a zombie jumps in front of the camera because it's not over.
Because somebody said, hey, you got to have a...
There could be a sequel to this remake.
Care. I don't really think anybody to remember that anybody did any work on this movie.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Hey, we still have some questions.
It's worth I'm in Walmart and I saw it for $1. I'll buy it and watch it.
Yeah, fair enough.
You want to know something? Amazon has shipped me Alien Covenant. Anyways.
All right.
Let's answer some questions.
I only got one from Twitter. From David Laslett. Hi, guys. I believe they brought out a comic book series named Empire of the Dead. Haven't read it. Have you? And if so, is it worth a look? Thanks. I own this book and have not read it yet. Depending on how kind of comments we get left on the video for this, but since this is only, I think there's one other comic book question in the comments.
Or join our Patreon and pay us some money and force us to do it.
I'll probably do it because there's, here's one thing I will tell you.
Also, we have a Patreon. Only 3 hours into the podcast, by the way, we have Patreon.
Yeah. Give us $1. $1's fine. So there's another series that George Romero directly worked on from DC Comics called Toe Tags, and it has a zombie elephant in it. So, and a zombie rides around on the zombie elephant. That's what I remember. I'm going to reread these books soon, and I'll decide whether a video is worth doing or not.
You've always been fascinated by zombie animals.
Yeah, zombie animals. It's a cool aesthetic.
When you were writing your script many years ago, zombie bear.
Yeah, you got to have a big zombie grizzly.
And you wanted a zombie trying to fuck the zombie bear, if I remember correctly.
Well, this is before Crossed. Crossed came out now, and now, like, the whole idea is, like, not a big deal. But I always said that if you actually had something that was like whatever was making your brain want to just eat things, it should also just make them want to fuck things too.
The R complex.
Yeah. So maybe a video in the works. I don't know. I don't know if the books are any good. I've not heard very good reviews, but Alex Maleev drew it. It looks really cool, and it has vampires in it. So George Romero finally gets around to vampires and adds them into his zombie universe. So sorry, I don't have a better answer for that one, but that is my answer. All right, moving over to Instagram where we have much more questions.
Much more questions.
I am very tired. Okay.
Zombie puns.
So, Doc O'Malley, best remake in your opinion? Kind of answer that.
Yeah, are you going from like newest one or?
I'm just kind of going as I go. This is from the first post that I made. I said mine would be Night, since it does give the character of Barbara an actual arc, and that it shows just how oblivious everyone else is about dealing with the zombies and their situation. The end where Barbara just walks past them so easily and showing how stupid all the previous arguing and deaths were is awesome to me. I agree with all of those things. Night of the Living Dead.
That's why I really like her crying frustration at the end, because she realizes she could have gotten away and saved,
I mean, at this point, you've heard us talk about it. The Night of the Living Dead is definitely the best remake, and
I didn't say that though.
Do you know? I said that. Wait, okay. So I know you like.
It's on the Day of the Dead remake. It's so good.
No, fuck you.
Nick
No,
Cannon's all like, "Yo, bitch, I'ma hold my gun sideways. Check out this Uzi, motherfucker."
Yeah, holding two guns in one hand, like spinning around in circles. No, seriously though, like you Dawn's your remake.
I don't know. I think Dawn is like just like that intro, and there's certain parts about it. They're just once they get on the buses, I kind of like don't care about that part of the movie in Dawn, but like everything leading up to that, before they go to the ammo store, kind of everything leading up to that, I think is like practical perfection in filmmaking.
Yeah,
but I think the Night remake is better.
I'm gonna watch Night a lot more times before I die. Instead of Dawn.
I like, yeah.
Okay, from Pendulous. Oh no, sorry. Izzy J's 210. Favorite character, alive or undead, in a Romero film? I still go original. I go Dwayne Jones. Ben's my favorite character.
We
in the
didn't
whole
say
franchise.
a Living Dead film. We said a Romero film. I'm going with the hairy-chested guy in Knight Riders.
I just bought Night Riders. I need to.
I have a signed copy of George Romero signing my. Wait, no.
But I have the nice new Scream Factory release.
I met George Romero.
What about Martin? What about Liam Neeson in Creepshow? I can hold my breath a long time.
Liam Neeson?
I mean, yeah, Liam Neeson. What the fuck? I'm so tired. Leslie Nielsen.
Which Creepshow one? Hey, come on, Poncho. Is it Poncho? And they're on the raft?
That's the second one.
I know. What does he call him?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I like the Bugs guy. Okay.
No, who's your favorite character?
Character in one of these movies.
Yeah, Ving Rhames, right? Even though you can't even remember his name.
Fuck
Ving
y'all.
Rhames.
It just fuck y'all.
Ken Foree, right?
Ken Foree is probably my favorite
Peter.
character.
Peter's great. He's pretty fucking great.
Tall SWAT guy. You know. He's
got good lines. I love Peter too. I go back and forth. Maybe it's Peter,
but
I'm gonna say Ben though, just to be heaven.
Have some babies.
Yeah.
I can't get it. Just you go look at the charts.
In the whirly bird. All right. Pendulous Phallus. Favorite undead kill in any zombie film? I've always enjoyed the lawnmower kill from Dead Alive. Have you seen Dead Alive?
A long time ago. That's the one when they come out of the fucking basement and the heads on the
It's just the most insane over the top stuff ever. I've been actually thinking about this too, because I saw this question beforehand.
Like how many zombie films that aren't Romero films? Like what?
I just watched some Fulci movies this past weekend. Like,
there's that eyeball.
That one is fucking
gross.
Awful. All Fulci movies are like that. I'm learning.
Obviously, shark kill.
Yeah,
Shark eat
is
a
that
zombie.
A kill though?
Shark eat a zombie, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. Favorite kill? Shit. Now he doesn't specify whether it's like zombie.
Just pick something.
like a zombie that gets killed or a zombie that kills somebody else. Mm-hmm. I'll go with Rhodes then. Like Rhodes getting ripped apart is maybe my favorite.
I think I like.
I'll just cheat and like the whole scene, like Bub shooting him because he contributed. Like they all take him down.
I'm trying to think like what other movies are zombie movies that aren't Romero movies? Can you?
But I think he might also just mean like zombies that get killed. You know, because that's like where people have the most fun.
I'm actually going with. I can't think of any zombie movies. Like, throw some zombie movies at me.
You got the Evil Dead movies. You got Return of the Living Dead.
Let me go through all those. I kind of like Diary of the Dead when he smashes the
scythe,
the acid on one of them, and it slowly kind of eats his head away.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was pretty cool. I liked it, even though the CGI was kind of. I liked it a lot.
Wait, it's not fire extinguisher kill?
No.
All right.
What was I saying? I'm just thinking about Return of the Living Dead real fast. They would electrocute them all, and the Michael Jackson zombie thriller shows up. Yeah. I also forgot which one I was going to say originally, but it. Did we say favorite character? Oh, yeah.
Peter.
I like the escalator zombie.
Yeah, that's a good zombie.
His face is great. But hold on. My favorite kill. Besides the acid one.
You mentioned the shovel one.
I like the shovel one, yeah.
They.
That's the one I like then, I guess.
That's fine. It's a good one.
I don't even know what I picked. What did I pick?
What did you pick?
I don't know. What did I pick?
I don't know. I remember.
I had one before you said the roads, and I was like, shit, I forgot what it was that I was going to say. I'm trying to think of everyone that dies in Day, like how and everything. Like what would I go back and like rewind or watch again?
Think about like in Dawn of the Dead, there's like a helicopter zombie that gets killed. There's the
helicopter zombie.
Yeah, the guy gets his head taken off by the helicopter.
Oh yeah.
And there's
I don't think like Dawn has many like hilarity in zombie kills.
I mean, the helicopter one's pretty funny.
I think I like the guy who goes and takes the blood pressure
There's
machine.
a screwdriver zombie.
Yeah. No, I like the guy who sits down and starts to do the blood pressure test right in the middle of all the apocalypse.
Okay, that's a good one.
And then not him, but the other guy gets his one guy gets his guts ripped out. So
yeah.
You know what? I like Rickles when they rip his head. You're right.
Yeah,
like,
he's laughing the whole time.
One of them, I don't know if it's him. They rip
and that's the one where the head comes off.
Right, but they rip in his eyeball.
Yeah.
Like they rip the skin over his eyeball. Ugh,
yeah, Dead's got good kills. All right, so this is for I feel bad. This guy YIORGIOSV. Yours gives it's sorry.
A dead kill. Sorry.
I suck. I can't pronounce this.
Yorgios.
Yeah, this is our ignorance showing. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce it. But do you have any favorite zombies in any of the films? And do you think the second rumored Day of the Dead remake is going to be any good? Well, so is Escalator Zombie your favorite zombie? You keep mentioning him.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny. He's in the beginning. They kill all the zombies, close up the shop, and then when they open it all up again, he shows up again. Like, they should have... He must have walked out before they killed everybody.
Yeah.
And then came back in. But, yeah, I love Escalator Zombie. That face. Whoa, the escalator's moving. You know?
I'm really partial to that.
I know everyone wants to say Bub, but, like, Bub's
no,
an easy
I mean,
choice.
Bub's great.
There's a really attractive one in Land. It's like the cheerleader. She's
cheerleader one. Well,
baseball player. She is like red tracksuit. I'm like, if she wasn't a zombie, she's probably really pretty.
I like the animatronic zombie from the beginning of Land. I don't know, visually striking. I thought it was cool.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, big eyes and stuff. I think that one's pretty cool. And apparently they're working on another remake of Day. I don't know a ton about it, but it is actually going to be like
good.
Well, who knows? But like, it's gonna be military people in a bunker. Like it is actually, and there'll be a bub, all that kind of stuff. Like it's more of a proper remake. So I don't know. We'll see.
I always like naked zombies.
It's like they're in post production for it right now, I guess.
Yeah. I enjoy a naked zombie, and like in the Night remake, just like scene one with just like butt cheeks hanging out in the wind.
Yeah, that was a good one. Okay, from Joey Rust. Did you ever play the Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies map called Call of the Dead? It's very specific. And if so, what's your opinion on it? I have none because I have not.
If I remember correctly, it's a George Romero caricature in the game directing a movie.
Oh, that sounds cool.
So it's like it's on a map and he's like the director.
Okay.
And but then I want to say it's like Jason Bourne.
It's like somebody's doing his voice, or
no? I could look at it. But then it's like Michael Myers. I don't even think that it's actually. Maybe it's like the Tom Savini one. I don't know. Was it Call of the Dead? Was it?
He said, Black Ops Zombies, Call of the Dead.
I just want to see real fast.
I have to get up in 4 hours.
I am trying to read this. Yeah. The levels first feature actual celebrities fighting off zombies and features George Romero as one of the zombies.
I think I do kind of vaguely remember that.
I remember when it came out being like a thing. Here's some truth.
You gonna drop a truth bomb on everybody?
Yeah, Treyarch developed Call of Duty games aren't very good.
There you go.
But I'm gonna get some hate on that because I don't like Black Ops or Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3 because I don't like them. I like Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 and sort of Modern Warfare 3, and that's it. I never liked the zombie mode because once it progressed, it's like, okay, if it was just like shoot in the head, get a kill, or put a couple shots in them and they drop like any other game, it'd be fine. It's that as the difficulty ramps up, it becomes like you're just pumping shots in them and they don't slow down. They don't like if you shoot them in the arm, they don't take damage like, shot me in the arm, slow down. They just run at you and you just keep shooting until you kill them. Whereas like a Resident Evil 4, you shoot them in the, or 5, you shoot them in the leg, they drop, you run up to them and you fucking suplex them. Resident Evil 4 and 5 had much more fun to shoot zombies. I don't like the Call of Duty Zombies mode. I wish I did. It looks like something that I would fucking fall in love with, but I just didn't like the mechanics of it. So, nope, haven't played it. Not going to.
All right, there you go.
It made me angry because I really wanted to play that mode, and I just did not like the mechanics of it.
All right, last question from Cardona Juan Manuel. Have you read the comic series based on the Romero Dead movies? Are there comic books based on the... I think he's probably talking about Empire of the Dead like the other guy was.
Did you talk about the night? Then they had the night ones.
Oh, maybe that's what he means. Okay, so...
Well, if not, we already mentioned Empire, but now mention the other ones.
That's two questions for this. If we get interest here in the comment sections for the podcast, then I'll consider doing a video on this stuff. The Avatar did publish some Night of the Living Dead comic books. There was actually a Dawn of the Dead comic book too, like an adaptation. I do remember that. It's I don't remember it being particularly well drawn. I don't like the Night of the Living Dead comic books. I've never really given them a fair shake. Because it's their typical Avatar comics. They're just like all tits, ass, and violence, which is fine. Like that has its place, but like that's not what I think of when I think of Night of the Living Dead. And I just personally have like a problem with, even though it's public domain, it drives me nuts when somebody just like sees an easy like low-hanging fruit using
like Night of the Living Dead 3D.
Yeah, or
in color.
They just take the name and do whatever the fuck they want with it. So like, oh, we'll use that to sell the comic book that's not even like trying to be, anything kind of close to what the movie was. So I don't know that I'll ever read maybe I'll read the Night of the Living Dead comics at some point by Avatar, if that's the ones you're talking about. Again, they did the I do remember there being a Dawn of the Dead comic book. I remember it being like right around the time actually that DVD set came out, maybe from Anchor Bay, the one that you have. And I don't remember there ever being anything for Day of the Dead. So if there was something, then I don't know about it. More recently, there was another company that tried. It was like a whole publishing line that tried to be like, all of these comic books, there's 8 different titles, and they're all going to take place in the Night of the Living Dead universe. Because again, like public domain,
free.
So we can
don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, and I think that it's like already done and done with, and they're probably out of business now. And get just good riddance, because make your own fucking thing, or at least get the guy involved, or at least like actually pay homage to what the movie is, I guess. But anyway, haven't read Empire of the Dead yet. Like I said, I own it, and I've not read it yet, but it looks real pretty. The artwork looks great, so we'll see.
And what time is it right now?
I need to go to bed because I'm going to die, and I will not come back. I'm just going to die. But I'm literally going to be a zombie tomorrow at work. So
just drink caffeine and
yeah.
Tomorrow's Tuesday. You don't have to interact with anybody.
I wonder if I'm actually better off like not going to bed and just trying to.
That's stupid. Get a couple hours sleep. Just don't. You don't have to interact with anybody. You just got to move shit around tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it's even worse.
Just don't die on your way home.
All right.
It is past 2:00 in the morning. We are going to call it a wrap. We're done.
That is whatever. A wrap of the dead. I need a zombie. That's a mummy pun. Mummy's kind of like a zombie. Yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to think of stupid like a line. I'm gonna go to bed and dream about monkey farms. Monkey farms. Or I'm running this monkey farm. Right. Oh, right. Yeah. I gotta get Monkey Shines. I've never seen it. That's like one of the last like Romero movies I haven't seen. Well, I'm going to go take a bite out of the Sandman and get a nice nap in before I have to go to work. All right, I'm done. I'm seriously done. Good night. Good night. Good night. Or if it's the daytime while you're listening to this, good afternoon. We're going to bed.